Yeah,
Is that what we do here?
Yeah, no, not really. Sometimes we talk about that stuff, but this is one of those times we actually talk with a topic in mind because it's Geeks with Kids, your bi-weekly geeky podcast from a parenting point of view. I'm your host this week, Eric, and joining me this week is Steve, Marcus, Brent, and our special guest. Oh wait, I wrote a thing for you. A friend of the show, roller of initiatives, queen of puns, Brittany Tomes. How's everyone doing? How's it going?
You're reversed on my screen. Yeah.
Are you?
Let me roll my initiative right now. Let's see if it's good.
Oh yeah.
It's a 3.
It's a 3. That's when I rolled my first dice out of that dice tower that I just showed you. I got a 2, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good.
Like meant to be.
And then I got 3 6s, which was like, that's interesting.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's just a little demon thing.
Right. So originally released on November 12, 2020, the much anticipated PlayStation 5 hit stores across the world. Well, most stores. Well, no, not most stores. Some stores. Anyways, it's been a year since the PS5 was released, so we're going to look back at the good, the bad, and the ugly from the PS5's first year. But like we do every show, we're going to talk about what we're liking, what we're hyped about, what we're loving, what's our yum. I just went off straight to the top because I wanted Steve to go first. What's good? What's good, bud? What's good?
Things were good until a moment ago.
Classic.
There's a update in Deep Rock Galactic, which is one of the only games I've been playing consistently this past year, and it's called I can't remember, something Incursion. It's about like
Big Rock Incursion.
It's about like how another mining corporation is sending robots and they're kind of moving in on our turf. So they added like all these new like mechanics and missions and things and lots of weapons. And there's a season pass and it's completely free. I mean, I love these guys. I mean, I don't think that all game companies should be as generous as Deep Rock. I understand you got to make money and you have different models. But when I've been complaining for the last 5 years about companies that overpromise and then underprovide, Deep Rock it's just been gold. So I highly recommend it. I'm having a great time. This is going to keep me occupied for at least a couple months, so it's good.
Is it?
Dang, man, maybe they're just mining for compliments.
I'll give them. I can't make a pun worthy as a response, but yes.
Is
You think they deep rock?
They rock.
They
Definitely.
do. They rock. What is it on just PC or is it on consoles as well?
I don't know if it's on consoles. I don't believe so. I hope they do put it on the consoles because I just use a controller and it works fine. It's a very arcadey shooter. So for people who don't know what the game is, it's a co-op first-person shooter where you play dwarves, and there are like 4 different. It's sci-fi as well, and there's 4 different classes, each with like sort of unique abilities and unique equipment. And your goal is to drop into this planet to mine particular things. Sometimes it's eggs, sometimes it's ore. And the trick is there are alien bugs that defend their world, and so it's just four dwarves against a bunch of alien critters, and then you got to get out after you've gotten your tasked requirement. Which the getting out part is in and of itself pretty exciting. People sometimes get left behind, actually, but as long as somebody gets out, everybody wins. So it's a fun co-op game because a lot of funny things can happen. But it's just fun and it's well built and like everyone who plays like is just really got good humor. It's a good community because I mean you're dwarves shouting rock and stone for everything and it's just fantastic.
Rock,
I love it.
stone,
Rock and stone.
Don't give me the mine shaft.
Metal.
Oh,
Them.
Brittany, you would love this game. The amount of puns is just every time they kill a creature, there's one. So
Would you say it's punderful?
Punderful?
yes, it's
Is
punderful.
it punishment?
It's punishment.
It's getting better and better. So this is on Microsoft Windows and Xbox One, which makes sense because it's on Xbox Game Pass, which you can get for $1 for 3 months or something like that right now. Is that
if you want to only get the PC Game Pass, they have a deal right now, $1 for 3 months.
It's well worth it. You can play Back for
Pretty
Blood.
dope.
You can get this game. It's fun. But anyway, any other thoughts on Deep Rock? Anyone else? Questions? No? Yeah. Brittany, you're a guest. I was supposed to put you first, and I forgot.
I saw that in the notes.
What's going on?
Who looks at the notes?
I got 3 things. I did skim it. I always read the outline first, even if I'm like, oh, I'm getting spoiled. Saw Lock and Key season 2. Thought it was dope. I already
I
love that
still haven't
show.
finished it.
One of the rare cases where I like the show more than the graphic novel.
Oh,
Did you
cool.
notice? Did you notice our friend on there, Ian Lake, show up in the first episode? Ian Lake from Star Trek.
Oh, as the was he a British soldier?
He's one of the British soldiers.
Yeah. I thought he looked familiar, but it's so weird because now I'm used to seeing him as he looks in Discovery, and I was like, wait a minute, your nose doesn't really look like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so that was pretty dope. I watched all at Owl House. Can't wait for the second half of season 2. If you have kids or you really like animated shows, watch it.
It's very
It's worth
good.
your time.
It is. It's one of those shows that you can relate as an adult and as a child, and it doesn't talk down to children, but it doesn't make the parents feel stupid for watching it, which I love.
Yeah, it's so wholesome, and it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then as of 10 minutes ago, I finished Infamous First Light. Because I hadn't
Nice.
played that, but I love Laura Bailey.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's good. It's good. It was free,
Yeah,
right,
it's
on PSN?
very
It's
good.
really fun.
Eventually
I think
it was,
I
yeah.
think that's when I got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, the Infamous games. I always wanted to play those. And then I was just like, this one's free.
And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
like
First Light
moving
was a
around.
nice like one shot. It
Yeah.
was, it was.
it
well
was
done.
an add-on for what was the one that was
First Son.
First one,
Son.
I think.
Yeah, that's the one with
Because then the ending.
Troy
the
Baker.
way
That's
it
one with
ends,
Delson.
it's like-
Yeah,
it's a
Troy
prequel.
Baker.
Delson Rowe. I remember I bought that when I first got the PlayStation 4. Like I bought
too.
it as I got it, and only because I'm like PlayStation 4 games, Amazon cheap.
Really?
And then it was literally like, oh, it's $5. I'll buy it. No idea what
that
it is. But I'll
game
buy
was
it.
well worth more than that.
Yeah.
I remember playing
really
it
fun.
and being like, it's so pretty. Nothing will be as pretty as this. And it's still pretty. I don't understand like how that anyway.
I beat everything. I got everything in Seattle real quick, but sometimes I would just fly around and like eat and like just blow up trucks and stuff. I was like, it's so pretty. I'm so
What's
powerful.
the company that made that? Which
It's Insomniac, isn't
hold
it?
on.
Yeah, Insomniac.
Sucker Punch.
Oh, Sucker Punch.
yeah,
right?
I thought it's the
Yeah.
it's the Tsushima people, right?
Yeah, because they had Sly Cooper references all throughout it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
It's so great. I was like, I love Sly Cooper. Ah! Yeah, that's my little raves.
I like him. Yeah.
I think I still have the backpack that you could get like the special
I do.
backpack
that,
or
that was
whatever.
in Infamous too. Yeah, I have that too. I use it as
Yeah.
that was my con
But it's
bag.
got like the Sly Cooper like symbol
Nice.
on it and
Yep.
everything. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's so
have that too.
cool.
Wow, we're such geeks.
Nerd. The
Geeks for the kids.
First Son came with a toque, or for you non-Canadians, a beanie.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
I know what a toque is.
Anyways, Marcus, what's good? What's your yum? We haven't seen you in a while. Give us an update.
Nice
Yeah,
beanie.
it's thank you. Yes, my toque. It's a fine toque. Not much is changed or anything. It's just been busy being a parent and doing all that kind of stuff. And then I just recently went back to work. But I'm at a different place right now. So I have a very long commute. So that's just been a big pain in the butt. The work is cool. I enjoy it. I'm not really allowed to talk about it because I've signed a bunch of NDAs, but it's fun. It's going to be ending soon, and then I can go back to my normal job, which is closer, and I'll hopefully get more sleep. So that's pretty good.
Yay! Sleep.
Yeah. Some of my goods are also like some of my goods are also bads, but goods and bads, I like them both. So I started watching the Chucky TV series,
Ooh.
and
I love it. I love it.
I love the series, and I love the fact that I feel like the Chucky model works really well as a series. What I'm not loving is one, I can tell everything was filmed in Hamilton.
Devil's Punch Bowl in all the opening shots.
Really?
And they're like, "Oh, we're
Yeah.
in whatever something haven or
increased my
whatever." I'm just
interest
like, "No,
in
you're
the
not."
show.
Now I need to watch this show.
It's Hamilton and Mississauga it was filmed in.
That's how
Yeah,
I feel
you-
whenever they
you-
film anything in Philly, and I'm like, you didn't film that in Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm watching
There's-
the opening for Chucky, and I'm like, I've been drunk there, I've been drunk there, I've been drunk there.
Well, we've been
It's-
drunk to that punch bowl. I'm positive of that.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's the total reverse for us though, Brittany. I mean, like New York is always Toronto, right? So it's just
Oh, yeah.
so
really
confusing.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait,
get
Seattle's
that.
also
Although
Toronto.
and
Although it should just be Vancouver. so it's
That should
confusing.
be Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I'm loving the series. I think what they've done with the puppet, the doll, is really cool. Like they've actually somehow created this a mechanism where it can look like the actual good guy doll staring there, like doing nothing, and then it can transform its face in front of you. And I'm like, oh, it's not two dolls, it's not multiple dolls. Like they've done a really good job with it. And
resting Chucky face.
Is it physical or is it
it's
CG?
It's a mix.
Okay.
Like there's the only CG I've seen has been like transitional kind of stuff. Any close up has been either the doll, and then there's been the long shots where it's definitely just a little person dressed up running around, or a kid or something running
The whole
around.
Halloween sequence, you could tell that was like a kid or a midget.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah,
little
for
person.
sure.
Sorry.
But I do like it. I find some of the writing and some of the performances from the young teenagers to be pretty bad at times. But that's not why I'm watching it. I'm watching it for the classic Chucky humor and for what's his name, Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
So they did get Brad Dourif.
They got they got all of them.
The fact that he's there.
They got the entire original cast from the series, like Andy,
nice.
the sister, Tiffany, like all of them.
So yeah, okay. On that note, then, is it in continuity with those, or does it retcon things? Or like, how does it fit?
It's
100% canon.
Wow.
Like the movies are canon.
Like he even referenced Chucky himself references his son, like his own child at one point, and it's hilarious. I'm like, oh my god, they're just going for it. It's all there. It's all real.
Yeah, all right. I'm
So
definitely
I
gonna
kinda
check
like
this out at some point.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Obviously, they're not bringing up the remake that came.
Yeah, that doesn't count
no.
anyway.
Oh yeah.
No, that one's not. That doesn't count.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill did a good job, but that was like a weird kind of like
It didn't
we
work.
have the right to
That's
do
all.
it. We're gonna.
The one thing that I will really say that works for this show too is like this show, it goes for it. It does not hold back.
Oh,
Like, the third
great.
episode was like already a game changer. Like holy shit, they're going there. Like
Nice.
Have you seen the most recent episode?
yeah,
Right.
I'm dying for tomorrow's. I'm dying for tomorrow to watch the new one.
How many episodes are there so far?
4 so
This will be the fifth. So the one coming out tomorrow is the fifth.
Is this like a 10 or a 24 or like an 8?
probably like a 10,
Yeah,
something
I'm
like
gonna
that. Yeah.
I like these shorter
I
seasons.
I just can't imagine them stretching this out for 24 episodes without somebody catching wise. You know.
Yeah, it's like something's up with that doll.
So,
Oh,
but
no,
it's
Steve.
it's really good. Aside from a few like crappy performances once in a while from young, I mean they're younger kids. You can't really hold it against them, and you know they are acting against a doll. I get it.
Yeah.
But I really do like this. Like what's his name? Devin Sawa is in there, and like he's
Really?
He plays
killing it.
plays twin brothers on it.
Yeah, he's kind of
Oh my
killing it.
God.
Like he's actually doing a good job. I'm like, holy shit! I've been waiting for a Devin Sawa comeback, and here it is.
He is making a really big comeback lately. He's been in a lot of stuff last little
The
while.
thing is, I haven't realized because I as soon as I saw him on the Chucky roster there, I looked him up and I realized he has been doing stuff, but I've never recognized him because he looks different. Like he just looks like an adult now.
A little blonde-haired kid anymore. Yeah. He's like
It's like
stumbly
you
and
saw when
brown
we
hair.
left
And
in Final Destination.
Yeah.
Me now.
Oh,
he looks like his Final Destination character has had a drinking problem.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
you
for
probably
sure.
would if you survived that shit.
that's fair.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. And then I finally got around to watching all of Ted Lasso, and
Nice.
I freaking love it. I fucking love it because Roy Kent is my favorite character that I've ever seen on television. He's just so great. But I'm amazed at what they've done with it in just 2 seasons. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I hear the 3rd season is going to be the end of
Yeah.
story arc.
They said it's the end of Ted's story, or at least the Ted Lasso, but they
Well,
might
it's-
they
Like
might
the
break
story
off.
that they're
they've
telling
planned.
now.
Yeah, the story that they've planned is 3 seasons long, so it's just sad to know that it's going to come to an end. If they continue on, I have a bad feeling it wouldn't work, so I'm hoping they do just kind of give it a graceful end.
I mean, I don't know the show, but generally, if they have a planned ending and they make it, I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Steve, if there was one bright light in all of the pandemic, it would be Ted Lasso. Like this is the thing that would just make you happy and just it. Like when I had the shittiest days, I would put on a Ted Lasso episode and just be like, "Oh my god, the world isn't terrible. It's not
So
terrible.
wholesome. It's like
Okay.
next on my list to watch. I've been watching Foundation on Apple TV through my cousin's login.
Oof.
I really like Foundation. Like me, my brother, and my sister-in-law, like we watch it. Like we wait. Sometimes we're like, we watch Foundation. And we're like, damn, it's not out yet. Like the new episode. But like, I really enjoy it. But it's definitely not going to be sci-fi for everybody.
Apple
People might
TV,
find it slow.
oddly enough, worth it for $4.99 a month. With Ted Lasso,
I get it for free.
Mystic Quest, me too. Foundation.
Oh, I still have to watch that.
Mystic Quest was good. I just don't know if are they doing another season.
They
or-
are. They
Okay,
are.
because like I'm sitting there, I'm like, I want something else. Like they gave me that pandemic episode. I want more.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Football is life. Football is life.
Yeah. And the only other thing I got that's gotten kind of cool is like I've been watching this cartoon with my son called Bluey.
Yes.
And it's on
Oh yeah.
it's on Disney Plus, and my God, it is the greatest like weird little kids show thing. It's about a family of Australian blue healers. It's like there's like a mom and dad and then two little girls,
Bingo.
Bluey and Bingo, and I freaking love them. And like each episode is just fun, and they're like 10 minutes long, so you don't have to invest too much. But there's like 50 episodes per season, and you just fly through these things. But the thing that got me is how realistic and how true the parent-kid dynamic feels in that cartoon. And then also each episode, like I'll watch 3 or 4 episodes laughing my ass off, being like, these are stupid, these are hilarious. And then the 4th or 5th episode will hit you right here and you'll just start crying. You'll just be tearing up and you'll be like, oh my God, Bingo felt like he was playing too rough.
Yep.
And you just start crying. Like I love it. And my son, like he'll watch for like 2 episodes, then he's off somewhere else. I'm still watching because I'm like,
Like this is quality programming.
it's really, really good. So my hat comes off to the writers and creative team behind Bluey. It is so good. I have new parenting goals, and it is to be like Bluey's dad.
Bluey's dad. If you go on any of the parenting subreddits, whenever someone's like, "Are there any good children's TV shows?" Because Caillou and all that shit. People are always like, Bluey, watch Bluey. It's the best show on TV. And I'm like, I agree. The thing about kids cartoons is that often they'll make at least one of the parents sort of stupid. And they don't do that. They make like, it's so realistic, like the parents in the show, and it's so good. They're dynamic. And I love that show. Like we watch it all the time. Yes, I love that show. It's so good.
And that's what's good.
That is what's good. Oh, Mom. Dad. Dad.
Hang on, I gotta go watch 5 episodes so I know what you're talking about.
Bingo. Yeah. Anyway, it's phenomenal. I'm gonna go next because I told Brett he can go last. What's good is that I have this friend in the States who heard this story about me losing all my comics, my long box. And then she, out of the kindness of her heart, sent me my favorite comic book miniseries, which is Neil Gaiman's The Eternals from 2006. And I love this book so much. And this is Brittany. So
I'm like, who, me?
my goodness, Brittany is awesome because she sent me that. And I got to reread it before I saw the movie. And it's still one of my favorite miniseries ever.
My favorite part was when we were talking about like just comics and stuff in general, and just like, oh man, we were mentioning Eternals coming out, and you're like, remember that Neil Gaiman run? And I was like, yeah, it was like like 10 issues or something like that. And you're like, yeah, all my comics got stolen, I lost it. And I'm like, you mean this one? And I sent you a picture, and I was like, you want it?
I was like, yes, please.
Like I was just gonna sell it. You can have it.
Yeah, it's such a good run. And then I saw Eternals on what was it, Friday or Saturday or something, and it's gonna divide people. I liked it. It's really fucking weird, but I like weird. I like the cosmic aspects of the Marvel universe.
MCU.
I like how they did it in the MCU, and if people skip this movie, there's gonna be a lot of things you're gonna miss.
It will not make sense if you don't see this movie.
I have issues with some of the characters, and the one thing I wish is that we got more time with each of the characters. I know we only have 2.5 hours, but there's 6 of them. And you're just like, you get tidbits of each of them, and they sort of had
10 of them.
There's 7
No?
or 8.
There's 10.
I can't remember.
Maybe there is.
It depends on which
Problem
team.
is, it depends on where you're at.
Yes. Yes. Without
My real thing is, if there's a Gilgamesh, where's Enkidu?
Yeah.
I've been saying that.
Tight.
You know, one thing that pisses me off. So they're selling these Marvel toys that are, all the MCU Eternals, and I'm like, oh shit, I should buy them all. But they're not selling a Gilgamesh because he's the build a character that you do.
Nice.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's so lame.
They've been
The
doing
one
that
Asian
forever,
guy?
man.
But like, he's. It's
I
not
think
like
they would have made like the head deviant the build a character,
or like
it's
or
kinda-
like one of the Celestials, right? That
yeah,
could
that
have
would
been
make
the
more
build
sense,
Maybe-
because he
thing.
actually is a leg.
Maybe they're
Yeah.
waiting to pair him with the dragon.
Anyway, because I wanted a Gilgamesh, because I like Gilgamesh as a character, and
Mhm.
what's his name? Who played him? Ma Dong Sok, or Don Lee. He's amazing. Anyway,
He was good.
yeah, Eternals. Go see it in theaters. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous film.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, that's fair. It's gonna be on Disney
It's-
Plus in
it's-
2 months.
It's literally like I think the first Marvel movie where when I heard about it and when I started seeing the trailers, I just kind of went,
Yeah, I know.
there's no appeal for it for me other than it's a Marvel movie. I have to see it for canon.
The
But-
issue
No,
is
it's the
that we
same
don't
thing.
know any of the characters, right? And there's so many
yeah.
of them. Like Avengers was great because you had individual movies, so you got to know each of them. If this was a mini series spanning all those centuries of them being on Earth, that would have been
That would've been
amazing.
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 Yeah, I totally agree. I don't really know. Like, for of all the people I know, I was the last person who was still kind of like, yeah, I'll just watch whatever. I'm still involved.
Mhm.
And the TV shows did well and all that sort of thing. But yeah, Eternals, for some reason, like that's when I've actually gone out of my way to try to find out a little bit more about it. But based on what Eric just said, I'll try to catch it now.
It's
But
gorgeous.
Yeah.
See it on a
I
big
wasn't-
screen.
I think it's what Eric said is the fact that we have no real tangible connection to these like totally new set of characters.
It's like the
kinda out
Guardians of
left
the
field.
Galaxy. You just
Yeah.
got to go into it and be like, I will buy whatever
Sure.
you tell me about these
Sure.
characters.
I feel like we
Yeah.
learned more about the Guardians in that movie than we did about the Eternals in this movie, though. That's a big issue, I think.
Kind of, but not.
It,
You learn their motivations, not so
Yeah.
much about each person specifically. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Steve.
No,
You should squiggle that little cord around your neck, because we're gonna move on over to Brent. Brent,
Yeah, I'm
You-
trying to minimize something so that I don't cut out as well. There we go. My connection was going in and out a little bit too. So
you son of a
Awesome.
bitch.
I shut Twitch off so that will stop happening.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
that's kind of good.
My yum is a bit of a different one today. Today's been kind of a weird day. And thank you everyone for letting me have the floor at the end for this. So 2020 was a weird year for everybody. Obviously, it was a particularly bad one for me. I had a lot of bad things happen. I lost a few friends that year. One very publicly, Nick Cordero. Another one, Mark, a friend of ours, Maurice, who passed away at the beginning of the year. So when the end of 2020 came, I was very excited to move on to a new year, thinking, thank God, finally everything's maybe going to start getting better and look up. And bam, New Year's Day. I get word that a very close friend of mine passed away the night before. So the year ended in a really bad way. So the reason that I'm bringing that up today is today would have been his 41st birthday. And he was a guy who, like, those of us who knew him decided we didn't want to acknowledge any kind of celebration on the date of his death. Like, we don't want to honor that. Like, this is a guy who lived a very, very boisterous, full life. Like, this was a guy who, if he knew you for 5 minutes, he would treat you like he's known you his whole life and you're his best friend. He was just that kind of warm, welcoming person. So we wanted to celebrate the date of his birth and the day that, like, his birthday was one of the things he celebrated the biggest. Like, I used to joke that he treated every day like his 19th birthday. Like, it was like, today's the day that everything can open up for me. And unfortunately, because of the freewheeling lifestyle he lived, he had a very tragic accident 5 years ago. that left him on very close to death. And I was one of the people who had to call around and start letting everybody who knew him know about this. And basically, like, the word from the doctors had given his family is that he's start planning the funeral. And I remember mentioning this to my brother, who knew him as well. And my brother said something to me that at first I thought was like really kind of mean. And then I sat back and I thought about it. And he's like, I got to be honest, this couldn't have happened to a better person. And I thought, I'm like, well, that's kind of mean. He's like, no, think about it. And I thought about it and I was like, you're right. Like, he was a very positive, very, everything is good, everything is great kind of person. And that's the mentality you need when something like that happens. So doctors are saying he's never going to regain consciousness. A month later, he woke up. They said he's paralyzed from the neck down and will be for life. 3 months later, he was moving his hands. 6 months later, he was moving his arms. They said he's going to eat through a tube the rest of his life. A year later, he was feeding himself. They said he's never going to be able to speak again. 2 months after that, you couldn't get him to shut up. About 3 years of being in the hospital, going through surgeries, physical therapy, and everything, when they said that, he has no use for life anymore, he went out those hospital doors and went home. And I remember meeting him that day and going out for celebration drinks with him, because that was the thing that he and I did all the time, was drink. And unfortunately, over the last couple of years, there were some complications because of his injury, and he was admitted to the hospital a month before New Year's, and because of it, for whatever reason, something happened and he didn't make it. So I want to celebrate him just with a little bit of a quick anecdote about him. So about 10 years ago, roughly, or whenever the Olympics were on, I can't remember, we were sitting around commiserating about the jobs that we had here in Hamilton, working in restaurants, and how we hated them. And we hated our jobs. We hated Hamilton. We want to change. And he mentioned to me, he said, the Olympics are coming to Whistler soon. Why don't we move to Whistler? And we'll move there. We'll get a job. We'll get an apartment. We'll rent the apartment out to Olympic fans for like $2,000 a night. It's going to be great. Let's do it. And we started talking about it, just having a few drinks, chatting about it and everything. And I had whatever, it's just chat. I forgot all about it like 2 days later. And then about a week later, he comes up and he's like, hey, let's go for drinks. And I'm like, okay. He's like, hey, so I just want to say goodbye. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm going to Whistler, man. I'm doing it. I leave tomorrow. He just got a plane ticket, moved to Whistler, got a job, got the apartment, rented it out to the Olympic fans, did everything he said we were going to do. Like, this was just rhetoric for me. And he was just one of those guys that was just so impulsive and willing to just live life that he's like, going to go do it. So he came back a couple years later, and we went out, and he said, I learned something while I was out there. And I said, what's that? He's like, it's a drink. He's like, we're going to go to a bar. I'm going to buy it for you. I said, all right. So we went, and he's like, it's called a Vegas bomb. And he's like, we went to the bar and he ordered it. He said, he had to explain to the bartender. He said, it's half peach schnapps, half Crown Royal in a Red Bull. And I looked at him, I said, that sounds disgusting. And he said, no, trust me. It is the most delicious thing you've ever had. And I was like, I'll try it, whatever. I tried it, literally the most delicious drink I've ever had. And he said, I have a task for both of us. And I said, what's that? He said, nobody knows this drink. So from now on, for the rest of our lives, anytime you and I walk into a bar that we've never been in, we go to the bartender, we order the drink, we explain how to make it, you offer to buy one for the bartender so that they can try it as well. And then that way we're spreading the word about this glorious beverage, and we're letting everyone know about it. And to this day, every time I have walked into a bar I've never been in, I will go to the bartender, I will order that drink, offer to buy the bartender one. And it's become it became our legacy. And now with him gone, it's become my legacy to carry on. So in honor of his birthday, take the fruit flies off of it. I have my Vegas bomb. And I would like it if everyone could join me in a quick toast to my friend Cliffy. Sláinte.
Sláinte. That's a wonderful tribute, man.
Thank you.
That was
That's how
wonderful.
you
Thank you. Now on to happier stuff.
On to happier stuff. Let's do a little bit of news, which is what we normally go to after what's good. We should probably put that shot on our website. I think that would be an awesome idea, like the
That'd be
recipe
awesome.
for it.
Yeah, I'm about to make another one because that was damn good.
I like never drink alcohol, but I would try it.
I would. I haven't drank in a while.
Like literally all you taste is the peach. It just tastes like a nice, like fruity warmness.
So you're
What was it
saying-
again?
Magical.
It's like a half a shot of peach schnapps, half a shot of Crown Royal or like whiskey. We use Crown Royal here in Canada. And just in a bomb, like with Red Bull or any kind of energy drink.
That's what
Huh.
Crown Royal looks like.
Yes.
And-
Where's the bag? You need the bag.
Yeah.
It's a Maple Leafs bag. I already put it away somewhere nice. Okay.
Maple Leaf.
But I
What do
find
you
too,
want
like,
from me?
I've always said that like the Red Bull is best because
Just
to me,
what I
Red Bull
said.
tastes like banana freezies. So
What?
like that mixed with the peach is like just a wonderful pairing.
That's confusing.
That's
Any-
wild.
And the Red Bull's going to keep me awake through this podcast. So.
What are you
Gives
talking
you
about?
wings.
The conversation will keep you awake during this podcast.
Wait, it gives you wings just like the PS5 has.
We're gonna talk about news first because just a couple short things about the news. So the Dune sequel has set a July 2022 shooting start, so that's exciting. We're gonna get part 2 soon. Well, what? And if you want to learn more about Dune Part 1, go back one episode, I think, and listen to Steve and Dave become very drunk and talk about Dune.
Mostly
They're truly
me.
blessed.
We are blessed life. Hashtag.
So
I
good.
felt like such a specimen during that entire thing because you guys are just going on, and then every now and then like, Brett, what do you think?
That,
You
I know.
You knows nothing. Tell us what you think.
I wanted the people
was-
who didn't read the book or watch the previous movies to like. I wanted to know what you guys thought because it's more important that you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
like it than people who have had it in their lives the whole time.
And it was so good to have you, Brent. And no, because that's the thing. Like, I know I'm too close to the subject matter, and I mean, I've watched all the different versions and all the history of the movie. So, like, I know why everything is done in the movie, right? But
Yeah.
what's important is does it come across to someone new, right? So it was great to have you on that one.
That's why I sort of want to hear what you guys think about the Eternals because I'm too close to that property. Like I've loved those. That
No, that's
game
why
for
I'm
ages.
interested to go, just because.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't
I don't
seen
know.
it yet. I'll go see it soon. I hope.
Yeah, then I could find out. Next piece of news is that Star Trek Prodigy has been renewed for season 2. It just got this, like, its second episode aired last week. Actually, technically third because they doubled the premiere. It's like it's so good. It's a fun kid show in Star Trek. If you have a child around 6 or 7, this is like a phenomenal show for them to get into because they sort of explain sciencey things, but without being like, this is science. But they'll put the little nugget in your head and then they'll be like, well, I want to know what a binary star is, which is what my daughter did. And I was like, oh, we're going to get into planet stuff soon.
I find that interesting because Darian already has sat through pretty much all of Deep Space Nine, most of Next Generation, some of Voyager. Like
Nice.
he's already
That's
kind
amazing.
of watched, but the thing is, he likes it. Like Carissa puts it on, and he just sits there and he's like, "Oh, it's this time again." And he sits down and he loves the intros. He hated the intro to Enterprise.
That's fair. It's
yeah,
a long road.
he
So
did.
did we all.
I love it.
Yeah, pretty. I
Yeah,
do not
you like
Anyway.
bad things though, Eric.
I love a lot of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, but I would love to see because as he gets older, he can actually understand and appreciate stuff that he's seeing, and that sounds like something. I want to see him actually, kind of get into it and see it and actually understand it and kind of enjoy what he's seeing, as opposed to just watching this show that we watch and being
Yeah.
like, oh, I like that guy's face. That's cool.
I will honestly say that I think Star Trek Prodigy has the nicest intro out of any Star Trek show.
It's really gorgeous.
And the music is amazing. It was Michael Giacchino who did the J.J. Abrams movies, but just for the intro. But they have oh man, I wish I brought up the lady who does the music in the show. But the show music is as gorgeous as the movies. It's crazy. Also,
nice.
the characters are fun. They're all different sizes and shapes and different ages, so kids can relate to each little one in a different way. Highly recommended Star Trek Prodigy. 2 more pieces of news. Star Wars: The Old Republic has released a couple trailers for their remasters, so that looks really pretty. I'm looking forward to playing that on PS5. But, I should have done that last week, so it could have been it would have been a good segue. God damn it! The last piece of news is that Disney Plus has announced that it's going to do an enhanced IMAX version of their movies on the service. So Shang-Chi has had IMAX scenes for it, and there are a couple other films that had IMAX formatted scenes. So they're gonna actually put those on the streaming service, which is awesome.
So how is that going to work?
So
yeah, I was gonna say.
So normally when you watch
Just binge your TV.
so when you normally watch a movie,
you need a big square now.
At least
Two TVs.
So I don't know if you guys remember the IMAX Blu-ray for The Dark Knight, because they did the same thing. So basically, the black bars are on the top and the bottom, and then when they go to the IMAX, they just fill that with that
Right.
that space.
Isn't
I'll help you with the
exactly
segue.
way
You know what else has
it should
gorgeous visuals? The PS5.
Because of the ray tracing. So we're gonna talk about the PS5 because it's been 1 year pretty much since it's been released.
In 2 more days, I think.
Yeah,
3
in
days.
4 days. 4 days.
4 days.
So the
Yeah,
PlayStation
12.
5 is the 5th generation of Sony video game systems developed by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Originally announced in 2019, the console launched on November 12th, 2020 in Australia, Japan, New Zealand, North America, and South Korea, with a worldwide release the following week. 2 models were released, one with an optical Ultra HD Blu-ray drive, and the other one without, dubbed the Digital Edition. The Digital Edition, obviously with its lack of optical drive, also gave a lower price point version for people to buy. The main selling points, at least when it was announced, was that they would have a solid state drive as their main hard drive that would allow for near instant loading, a AMD GPU capable of 4K resolution, hardware accelerated ray tracing, which is, pretty lighting, and 3D audio effects. They also included a new controller called the DualSense, which offered haptic feedback in the controller itself and the triggers. Since its initial release, the PS5 has sold many, many consoles. I put stats on this sheet, and the most recent stats I could find were from July this year, and that's when it surpassed 10 million units sold worldwide. And then the game stats were also crazy. Miles Morales sold more than 6.5 million copies. MLB The Show 21 more than 2 million copies. Weird. And
we're bored.
And Returnal at that time, which was only like a month or two old, was 560,000 copies, which is pretty damn good. I know it's sold more since then. Anyway, since we are lucky enough to have it, did we want to talk about our pre-order story?
I killed a man.
We all had fun little pre-order stories for when we had to buy the.
I feel like everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Story.
I'm gonna start with Steve and Marcus because they were sort of the time when I ended up pre-ordering mine. So Steve, tell me your pre-order story.
Your story begins with you making a huge deal about the machine because I was kind of, I don't know, I'm still in a kind of a funk where I just really wasn't paying attention or doing anything really. And that was 2020. I don't even know how we got the machines in 2020. I feel like 2020 was a year where everything stopped. But so I actually wasn't that excited for the machine, just not for any particular reason. I just wasn't really on top of things. And Eric was making such a huge deal about it.
Damn straight.
And he just kept posting that I was just like, literally days before, because Eric had kept us all up to date on like ways of going about pre-ordering. I was like, you know what? I'll just drive to EB. So I guess this was one of those things where we had to do it at midnight. I don't even remember the timing of it.
Yeah. For EB, they had like a weird thing where you had to line up, and then at midnight you can go in to pre-order because they weren't doing it over the internet because that they had sold, or something stupid like that.
So
sites would crash all the time from it.
Yeah, so due to all the craziness which might come out in other people's stories, and because I wasn't paying attention, I was like, well, this is probably my best chance to just physically go over there because Eric says it's possible, so I guess I'll try. So I drove out to, it was so sketchy, man. I mean, I've never been to one of these like strip malls like at midnight, and the only thing open is this EB. I get in line, didn't really bring the right coat. Freaking November. I'm freezing my ass off here. And I'm like over 40, guys. Okay, just keep this in mind. And I'm standing here in the line, at least 20-year-olds, if 20, and they're all talking about their Call of Duty kill-death ratios. They're just like going on and on about like, oh yeah, man, you play this game? And I'm just like, I'm so old.
Are they Mexican?
That's his young cool voice.
The young cool voice, okay? I'm sitting here going like, how did my life lead me to this point? I'm standing here at midnight in front of an EB in a parking lot, and what am I doing? So anyway, it was this whole process, like Eric said, where we had to like stand and wait, and they were only letting so many people in. And I think I got there like an hour early, and that was still not early enough, right? Obviously. Mm-hmm. But eventually I got into the store. And I said, well, what do you have? And they said, well, we've got one more optical drive. And I was like, I'll take it. So I got the last pre-order on the last optical drive. Then after that, the 4 or 5 suckers behind me, all they could have possibly gotten is the other one. But I don't even know. Like, I think they closed this, like they turned the lights out like very shortly after that. So I was very close to the end. So that was my story. It's Eric's fault.
Did you have a pickup story? I seem to recall something about you walking back to your car and there being another car with its lights on, just like staring at you.
No, that was the pre-order. So that was the pre-order part because it was at night, right? No, the pickup was like whenever, right? Because the machine's there.
Oh, yeah.
But no, you're right. Yeah, as I was leaving, like again, there's only like maybe 20 people here, right? And there was like a car with its lights on, like on all the people just sitting in the parking lot, and I'm like, I'm gonna get rolled, man. I'm gonna get rolled for a PS5, and no one's even gonna know. I'm gonna die in a Tobacco, and it's gonna be.
They're probably watching to make sure you weren't
man.
gonna walk out with the machine. They're just like, are these pre-orders or are those motherfuckers buying?
Yeah.
One of them walks out with a box. I'm gonna hit him with my car and pick it up. You know.
Yeah,
I thought I wanted to pick mine up. I was like, I should put this in a bag because I'm terrified. But I'm like, there's no bag that fits in.
Yeah.
This is massive.
I didn't even fit in the
ran
garbage
it to the car.
bag.
No, I thought about that. I don't remember how I covered it up, but I did think about that on the way. But anyway, the pickup story wasn't exciting. It was just the pre-order story. So there you go.
Hey man, where are you going with that blanket?
Is that your cool young person voice?
Very
That's his cool
PS5
young
shaped
person.
blanket. You want to see my kill death ratio?
Oh, God. Marcus, what about yours?
Mine, in contrast, is the lamest and simplest of stories. But it was one of those things where I just thought, oh, this is just how it's going to go. But everybody else's stories around me were just so swirling with like all this misfortune and like, I had to fight a dragon and climb a mountain and everything. And I remember just being like, oh shit, maybe I just got really lucky, or like, and I didn't want to flaunt it and I didn't want to say it to anybody because I knew people would get fucking pissed. But what happened was, again, Eric was making a big deal about the PS5, guys. The PS5s are
There
coming
was
out.
a press release that day.
Guys, this is going to be insane. No one's going to get these. We got to get on these pre-orders. If anyone's going to get them, you guys, we got to do this. Let me know if you need help.
You were right.
But this is about Eric himself. Eric's like, let me know if you need help. I got links. I got like places where you guys can look. These are the best locations. Meanwhile, what I had done was I signed myself up for Best Buy's like email notification for their pre-orders. And literally sitting on my couch, it's like 11:40 or something at night. I'm literally on like the Facebook chat with Eric and the guys and stuff like that. And I just happened to get like a notification like bing. I'm like, oh, and it just said you can now pre-order. And I just clicked over to the Best Buy link, and there it was. I clicked add to cart, and I pre-ordered it, and that was it.
Yep.
I remember that in the conversation.
Yep.
I was like, what? Like, he's literally like the freaking like Reese Witherspoon. What? Like, it's hard. Like getting into Harvard. Like,
I thought he was fucking with us.
No.
So funny.
What's funny is that Marcus, my story jumps off of yours because I was doing my kid's bedtime, and it was one of the times when she was just like, I'm gonna stay up for fucking 4 hours while you try and put me to bed. And I was sitting there, I was like, this pre-order better not come tonight. It better not start tonight. And then I fell asleep, obviously doing her bedtime, and I woke up to just like messages. Did you do it? I got my email. And I'm like, no. So as soon as I opened the email, it's like, nope, we're sold out. I was like, child.
I've never been had a child like this in my life.
And then
You have an optical drive, child.
so the next day, Shoppers Drug Mart, which is a pharmacy in Canada, sent out a big like newsletter being like, we're gonna sell PS5, we're gonna sell PlayStations and the new Xbox because apparently we have electronic sections in our stores.
Yeah, people forget that.
I've always wondered that. You walk into some of them and you look behind the counter and like, why are they selling like controllers in that? Like,
It's so weird.
Actually, it's really important. Like, I wouldn't do this for the next pre-order of whatever, but anytime something is running low at Walmart or Best Buy, go to the Shoppers. It's very likely they'll have it because nobody thinks of them.
It's true.
So, anyway,
and they also sell things ridiculously cheap when they're just trying to clear stuff. I remember my friend got a Switch for like $100, which is crazy.
Oh my God.
I remember you can get them in weird places. I bought my PS1 back in like '97. I bought one at the Canadian Tire I worked at.
They used to have electronic
They were
sections
selling-
back then,
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, you look at that now, I'm like,
90s
that's
were
just
like that,
bizarre.
though. Everything's
true.
sold everywhere.
Everything you were just like, is this? I guess you're also a Radio Shack, sure. You know,
But the Radio Shack doesn't have it.
Store.
exactly. But the Radio Shack itself wouldn't have it.
So I went on the fucking Shoppers Drug Mart thing the whole day because it kept on crashing for everyone. I just kept on hitting refresh the whole day. And Megan would be like, are you going to go outside? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm hitting refresh so I can get this fucking PlayStation. Anyways, I got it. And the day that they, to pick it up, they're like, yeah, come this day. I'm like, okay, I went in right in the morning when Shoppers opened because it was during the pandemic. Wait, was it during? Yeah, it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're only open at certain hours now because we're a pharmacy, which doesn't make sense for me. Anyway, I got there and I'm waiting in line with my ticket, and the guy comes back. He's like, "We didn't get it." I'm like, "What? What?" He came out with someone else's and gave it to him right beside me, and then talked to me afterwards. So it's like, where's mine? He was like, no, it wasn't brought here. We don't know what's going on. We'll call you. I'm like, you what? So
You don't understand what you're doing.
So distraught, I went home and started looking if I could buy it anywhere else. And then, like hours later, they called me. They're like, oh yeah, they sent it to the wrong store. It's here now. Like,
It's at another pharmacy.
you fuckers.
Sorry, we sold the wrong prescription for you.
I took the day off so I could play it too. So I was sitting there like, I'm not making money today, you fuckers.
Needs 50 cc's of the PS5.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember all these messages, like, because because of
angry.
Eric, right? I was standing at a store at midnight. I had no idea he had missed the machine until I got back home, and then I saw that he had fallen asleep, and I was like, "Oh no!" Right? And then like later, we found out that we found it at Shoppers. I was like, "Okay, well, thank goodness," right? Because I felt so bad, right? Because he was the one, as Marcus had said, was like trumpeting this thing and making it all like, "We got to get this thing," and then he missed it, right? And he gave us so many links. Like he was providing all the receipts for everybody, right?
Always how it is, though.
There was no excuse for anybody, right? And then he he had to miss it by because of parenting, and I was like, oh no, of all things. So yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, no, I did not have a pickup story, but yeah, I remember your pickup story because you wrote that when you got back home. You're like, oh my God, they brought me in and it's not there.
I was so angry. I was so angry. Oh my God. Yeah. Brent, what was your story?
Mine was okay. I was not able to get in on the pre-order. I was working a really shitty job at the time, and I did not have the money to pre-order when they came out. So I had actually I talked to a buddy of mine, and I was like, I don't what do I do? How am I going to get one? Because I want one when it comes out. And he says, just go to EB and put your name on a waiting list. I'm like, you can do that? He's like, yeah. It's not a pre-order list. It's like you put your name on a wait list, and then after the pre-order's done, if they have any more come in, they call everyone in order. He's like, I went down, I did it. He's like, I'm number 3 on the list. And I was like, I gotta go do this. I go down and I sign up, and I'm like, where am I? They're like, you're number 357. I'm like,
You're like, awesome.
so I'm like, I better hedge my bets on this one. So I drove to every EB Games that I could think of, all through like Hamilton, everywhere, and put my name on every list that I could, just hoping that one of them would like surprise me. And so about a month went by, and nothing had happened, and the games had started coming out, and I decided, I was like, you know what, I had some money now. I'm like, I'm gonna go on and pre-order all the games that I want. So at least I have them ready to go when I get the system. So I bought like Godfall, Watch Dogs, Legion.
That's
like
man.
Sackboy. It's like I bought every PS5 game basically that they released, and then when I got them, I was like, my buddy, because he had been 3rd on the list, I was like, here, you can borrow the games until I get the console. And like it's fair and everything. I'm like, yeah, I bought 2 extra controllers too, and I was like, if you want the controllers, like,
Oh my God,
You
all
are
I'm asking
dedicated.
is, as soon as I get it, I want them back. And he was like, okay, awesome, man. He's like, I'm so excited to play these games. It's great. Literally 12 hours later, I got the call. Hey, we got one.
Nice.
And you're like, give me
I'd
everything.
call back up. You go, hey, buddy, guess what? You can keep 2 of them. I want the rest. So it was like December 27th, I think. So I managed to I went and got that. And then about 2 days later, I get a call from another EB going, hey, we got one for you.
Wow.
Oh, shit. The next day, I get a call from another EB. Hey, we got one for you. I'm like, okay. 3 days later, hey, we got one for you. I'm like,
And this is how Brent made $1 million.
that idea, I never wanted to be one of those like scalping assholes.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
fair.
like, there's
Fair.
absolutely no way. I'm like, but I did go like, I want
hooked up
to
your
be
friends?
like, I want to be the Robin Hood of
Mhm.
PS5s. So I went and I bought all 3 of them. And I called everyone I knew. I was like, who wants one? Who wants one? Who wants one? I remember calling Matt, going like, Matt, do you want one? And he was like, I don't have it. I can't do it right now. I'm like, oh, who wants to? So I call like my friend's like, oh, my fiance will want one. I'm going to buy it for him for his birthday. So here you go. A friend of mine's like, oh, I want one to surprise my son for his birthday. I want to be the best
Oh.
mom ever. Here you go.
That would have been nice.
Nice.
And the last one was like a buddy of mine who I've been gaming with for like 5 years, who lives in the States. And he's like, I can't find one anywhere. I'm on every waiting list, nothing. He's like, scalpers are charging like $1,300 American for it. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I said, let me hang on a second, go down to UPS. How much is it going to cost to ship this
Oh,
to
no.
this place in the States? And they're like, about this much. And I'm like, are you okay? You okay paying this extra? And he's like, yeah, cool. It'll be there in 5 days.
That's
So I shipped the
awesome,
last one
man.
down to the States to my buddy.
That's
The way to
awesome.
do it.
That's awesome.
Great. That's
Speak-
great.
And speaking of states, we have Brittany over here with her.
Oh boy.
I
trying
sort
to
of
get
know
a
your story.
PS5 in America. Okay, so mine, I don't think I was technically under the pre-order umbrella, because I was the type of person that at first, when they announced that they were doing like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, is that the current one?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
just want to make sure I was right, because I don't have it.
Yeah, I mean, why use numbers? I mean, it's so confusing.
I like missed out on the PS3. Like I usually had one of the generational systems growing up. Like I've always had video games.
Yeah.
And then when I went away to college, I didn't have money, so I didn't end up getting like a PS3 at the time and playing those games. I would like play some if somebody had it. So when I was finally done college, PS4 was kind of like reaching the end of its life cycle and everything. Like by the time I got it, after I'd actually worked a few jobs for a few years, and I was like, you know what, I have spending money.
Yeah.
So I felt really bad that like I'd only had my PS4 for like a year and a half, and then they were like, here's the PS5, and I was like,
Yeah, fair
oh, but I
enough.
love my PS4. So at first I was like, yeah, I would like to get a new system as soon as it comes out and play all the new games. So I was thinking about that, and then I heard how horrible the pre-orders were going. And I was really busy. I was working like late at night and stuff like that. So like I could just never, any of the times they had, I was at work. Like I just could not pre-order. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna get it, and I'll just wait. You know, in a year they'll do like the PS5 Pro or like something like that, and I'll just get that version because you know they fix all the tweaks.
In a year.
But then, well, that's what I'm used to. But I still had money put aside for it, mind you. Like I was just like, just in case I happen upon a PS5, sure. I knew that wasn't gonna happen. So luckily, my friend Julian, who I do the Everything Is Permitted podcast with, and then also the Star Trek one that I do with Eric as well, he had pre-ordered, and luckily he got his PS5. He got like the controllers and everything for it. And our other co-host Matt, he got the Xbox, and he got everything for it. So like both their pre-orders went well. I mean, they still had. I'm sure they could tell their own stories of like literally staying up all night trying to get it every way. But Julian kept a lookout. Even after he got his, he just kept looking at like the PlayStation Direct stuff. And every day, I think for the next like 2 weeks, he kept trying to get me one.
Oh.
And all he said ahead of time, he was like, if I happen to get on a waiting list, would you buy it? And I was like, yeah, I have the money set aside. I was like, don't push yourself. I'm not going to tell you to stay up until 3 a.m. trying to get it for me. But sure. So luckily, I had a friend who was kind enough to finally get on a waiting list. He was like playing, I don't even know what. I think maybe Warzone.
We were playing Warzone.
At the
Yeah,
time.
we were
Warzone
all.
with
That's
and,
Warzone
and he
time.
just had them on like speakerphone or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he was on like some calling list. So yeah, I think he texted me at like 3 a.m. one night, and he's like, "I got it."
It was,
So I was like, "How much?" And I think I still have the Venmo or the PayPal
yeah.
because I had to pay for the shipping because it was from like PlayStation Direct.
Mhm.
And I think I sent him like $600, something crazy, like because it had to cover
Wow.
the shipping and everything. And when I scroll back through my transactions for it, I could still see it, and it just said, "Thanks for PS5."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it arrived. I was so happy. I just got a gaming chair right beforehand, so I was like, "Damn, that was like
Oh.
$400."
Yeah.
It looked so nice when I put it on top of it. I was like, "Oh,
Because it's half the size of it.
it
Yeah,
is."
actually, I have a question. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Brett.
I was gonna say I was madly determined, like no matter what, I was gonna get one. This is the first, this is the first console that I have bought brand new, like when it first came out. I've always
nice.
stayed a few years behind because I like to wait until they have a good game library. Everything's a little bit cheaper.
yeah.
You can get everything at a more
Mhm.
reasonable rate. And I'm like, but I was never really a gamer then. So now I consider myself a gamer. So I was like, this is the first system where I was like, I have to get it as soon as possible. I don't care what it costs. Like, except
It's
I'm
so
not
funny.
paying a scammer.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. It's so funny because that's my story too. I've never lined up for anything. So that I'm sitting here at midnight, pitch black parking lot.
Like,
I'm
why
like,
a line?
what the fuck am I doing? I've never lined up for a game before or
Meanwhile.
anything, a system. And I'm like, oh man, damn you, Eric.
Best
Right, so I'm
Christmas
just
of my
sitting-
life was when my mom got my brother and I a PS2, and she waited in line on Black Friday
Oh,
at
God.
like 3 a.m.
Oh,
for like Toys R Us or some shit, and just like
Mhm.
stood there with my aunt freezing in the cold, and then
Oh,
us and our cousin, we got PS2s.
Every time I
It's great.
see a video from US Black Friday, scares the crap out of me because Canadian
I
Black
don't
Friday is
I
not
don't
like
go
that.
Black Friday shopping. Yeah. And the
This
thing
is
is, my
thinking that
mom
South
said
Park
she was like,
episode.
that is the one time I went was just to get you guys that PS2 and Kingdom
oh.
Hearts. And I was like, yeah, because I
That's
really wanted
that's a
Kingdom
good
Hearts.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
The best.
worth the
It was
sacrifice.
one of my favorite gifts ever.
The only other lineup I did was for the Wii, and it was the
Sure.
That
best
was a big
lineup
deal,
I
yeah.
ever did. It was at a Walmart. It was just we had done a show. Me and a bunch of people at Mac had done a show, and we were at the after party, and we were drunk, and we're like, the Wii's coming out tonight. And one of the guys was like, "I'm sober. You want to go?" I'm like. And a bunch of us were like, fuck yeah, let's go. So we all went and lined up. We all had our DSs, and everyone else in the line had DSs. So throughout the night, we were just eating pizza.
Nintendo nerds.
We were eating pizza. People got each other pizza, donuts, coffee, obviously from the Tim Hortons that was just around the corner because it's Tim Hortons. And then we were all playing Mario Kart together, and it was fun. And then the guy, I was near the end, and the guy behind me got the last Wii. And right
Wow.
after him was a mom and her like 10-year-old son, and he ended up just giving it to them. Like he's just like, no, take my
Aw.
ticket. And I was like,
Oh.
Nathan, humanity
better
restored.
man than I.
it was awesome. That was my Wii. Sorry. Anyway, 1 year. It's been
That's
1 year.
good.
1 year of the PS5. So we got to
One-
talk about. No, sorry, Steve. Go.
I wanted to ask one quick dumb question. What orientation have you guys all put the machine in?
Vertical.
Mine is sideways.
Oh,
Mine's
mine is-
sideways. Mine's
vertical.
sideways because it won't fit on my it won't fit on my stand. So
I would rather have it vertical, but my setup is sideways. So
I've-
okay, I just
I've
wanted to
vertical
ask.
left
Just,
of my TV.
I don't know if you can see it. I've had to put it on a separate like stand beside my TV stand. It's right there.
Nice.
It's like that's a record stand. That's a record player
better
stand.
vertical because I feel like it's almost kind of like a lily or a tulip or something, you know. But yeah, I've got mine next to my PS4 and my PS3, and the funniest thing is the PS4 Pro and the PS3, I guess Mini, are the same height, stacked on top of each other as the PS5, and the PS5 is longer than the two machines stacked on top of each other. Anyway.
I remember taking before I sold my PS4. I remember taking a side-by-side comparison picture of the two to send to my buddy in the States because he hadn't seen one yet. And I'm like, just to let you know, this is how big your package is going to be.
It's massive.
It's this big.
I named mine Seto Kaiba. When it stands up, it looks like his little fucking jacket. It's great.
Not that it matters, but the dust filter is on. Like when you're doing it horizontal, there's a little dust pocket underneath the lid, so you can lift it up and clean it out ever so often if you want to. But it's actually the way it's designed, it pushes out most of the dust. That's just a fun little tidbit I learned while taking my PS5 apart to put in the hard drive. Anyway, it's been 1 year, so the good and bad and the ugly. We obviously have to talk about what's good and what's sort of shitty about the PS5 right now. Let's start off with what everyone bought the console for, the games. What good games have come? Like, what would be like one or two of your favorite games you've played in the last year? I don't know. Do we want to do like console exclusive? Because there are some games that came out on other things, and
I think if it utilizes the PS5 mechanics, we can count it. But if it doesn't, then I wouldn't bother.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Brent, why don't you go
if it
first?
uses haptic feedback, we can count that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite phrase to use. You feel it haptic feedback.
It needs the trigger.
I mean, like at launch for me, the two.
It doesn't even have to be the launch. It just has to be in the 1 year.
Well, I mean, like over the course of the year, I think there's three games that have absolutely stood out for me. The two at launch, number one, Astro's Playroom.
Yep.
Agreed. That's the first game anyone who buys a PS5 should play. You need to just play it for like half an hour
Brittany.
and experience because you have not experienced what these controllers are capable of until you play that game. Because no game has come out that has fully utilized what they're capable of yet. I like there's little bits and pieces. You feel the haptic triggers in some games. I noticed when I was playing the PS5 version of Control, I could feel the vibration changes when you're walking on different surfaces. Like when you switch from carpet to flooring, can feel that difference. So I'm like, that's little things like but it's more expressive in Astros. Like it absolutely stands out.
Yeah.
Demon Souls is by far the most beautiful game visually and auditorily. The 3D audio, especially, I bought the Pulse 3D headsets as soon as I could get my hands on one. They are absolutely incredible for that game.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then we can go into more discussion about this, but we had an hour and a half, 2 hour discussion about Ratchet and Clank, which I think we all agree was the first game that truly was like, this is next generation. This is the new generation. Although I will say I don't fully stand by that statement because when I went back and started playing some of the previous, I think Demon Souls to me was the first real, this is the next generation. Because no game looks as pretty as that.
I think it was mostly for Ratchet and Clank the fact that there was never a loading screen. You just kept playing.
That was the first game that fully utilized the PlayStation 5's capabilities, like beyond being visual and sounding amazing, but like really mechanically functioning, beautiful.
It's made of magic, I assume. I assume that when we did the review, and I still believe it. Marcus,
I didn't.
Oh, Steve. Steve, do you want to do your?
No, I was gonna say no. Well, no, I was just gonna add on the Ratchet and Clank. Like I didn't buy Ratchet and Clank, but I was telling all my friends, I was just like, Ratchet and Clank is one of those system buying games.
Yep.
Like that is the reason to get PS5. I could tell, from what I knew, like the loading and everything else. Like this is one of those systems, kind of like one of those games like Final Fantasy VII was for the original PlayStation, right? Or was it PlayStation 2? I don't remember, but original. It was the reason to get it. Yeah, and I was like, Ratchet and Clank is one of those. That
literally was the reason I bought the first one, was Final Fantasy VII. I watched a buddy of mine play, and I was like, I need to play this game. I got to go buy this.
I love Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, yeah, me too. Oh, Intergrade was so good.
Oh, did you see, by the way, the
Intergrade.
next DLC is coming out next week?
For Final Fantasy?
The First Soldier, the Sephiroth DLC is coming out next week. It's the 21st.
Oh,
Good
shit.
timing.
They just did an
no.
announcement. They did an announcement trailer for it 2 days
I
ago,
bought it.
and then I was like, "Oh,
Shit.
next year," and they're like, "Nope, November 21st."
Shit. Okay, cool. Brittany, what about you? What if you had to pick a couple games that highlight the PS5, the good of PS5? We should do bad games after.
I have some bad
Yeah.
games.
I feel like I don't really have bad games, but I put ones that stood out to me. So obviously, like Spider-Man Miles Morales, of course it's on the PS4, but I only played it on the PS5, and I said right away when I played that game, I was like, honestly, this has justified me buying a PS5. I love that game so much.
Mhm.
Just zipping around New York. I just know where places are, so just swinging, even though it's not like 100% accurate, it's like
pretty
mostly
close.
accurate. It's very accurate, yeah. But like, I just loved, like, I was just like, I'm gonna dive off of 30 Rock. I'm gonna go swing over here now. Like, all these places that I've been like a ton of
That's
times.
awesome.
It's so awesome. But that game, it made me cry. I love the story so much, and then just the way you swing around the game and you feel it in the controller. Like, I remember being so amazed with the controller because I love the PS4 one. I love that it lit up differently. Like if you're playing Tomb Raider and you pull out your like little torch or something, it's like.
Mhm.
But the PS5 controller, I was like, it's so light. This is weird, and then it just does so much that it's amazing. Like feeling the tension in the web and knowing exactly when to let go to go faster or like to do a trick.
Mhm.
It was so awesome.
To go off
then-
that, like the 3D audio on the headset, like you could hear the thip go past your ears, and you're like, "What
You
the fuck?"
If you're walking down and someone's having a conversation 2 blocks behind you, you hear it 2 blocks behind you. I was like, "That's
Blows
insane."
my brain.
It's tingling. Oh, I love it. And then like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, gorgeous. I was on your show to rant about that. That is
Yeah.
one of those ones for sure where I'm like, wow, I really feel like this is like the next generation. Because Miles Morales, it's gorgeous and I loved it. But it's like other than just visually a step down, it's the same as the PS4 one.
Yep. Fair.
Sorry,
Sure enough.
visually a step up from the PS4 one. But then Rift Apart was really like, wow, this is so cool. The fact that you could just like go through those rifts and just no load time, like just so much power. And it was nice
Yeah.
not hearing the machine whiz. Because I play my PS4 and God, when I played Ghost of Tsushima on my PS4 and Last of Us Part 2 toward the end, it would and I was like, no.
Why is there a helicopter in Japan?
Godzilla.
That game's so soothing too, and then out of nowhere it's just like, and I'm like, I get it, it's a movie scene, calm down. The most recent game that I really enjoy that I'm playing is Kena Bridge of Spirits, which I have to finish streaming. I'm just stuck on that one
I
boss.
still have to finish that too. I'm on the last area of the game. I still have to finish that.
Oh, nice.
The last boss.
I just got busy and
broke
stopped
me.
streaming.
It broke me. The last boss.
The last bosses in
No.
games seem to do that. How's Metroid Dread going?
Metroid.
Shut
Dread.
up, Brent.
Shut up, Brent.
I want to play it so bad.
Yeah.
Then I'll give a shout out to Resident Evil Village. I enjoyed. I didn't finish it, but I started streaming that before I hurt my hand. What did I do?
That's fantastic. Apparently,
No,
there's
I
a bunch
hurt
of new
my
free
hip. I
DLC
hurt
coming
my
out for
hip
that
and
too.
stuff.
Mm.
Nice. Yeah, that one was just fun. It was a great, like, I just missed playing Resident Evil games, and Life is Strange True Colors,
Oh, yeah.
which
that's
I'm
it.
sure Eric would mention also. It's just great. I love those games, and visually and like just the music and everything was so nice.
The way it integrates music into its story and its
Yeah.
everything, it's like it's how, as someone who has had music, like Marcus and Brent and Steve, you're all musical theater people. Brittany, you're more acting than musical theater.
I love musicals. Have I been in one? No.
You should be in one. Anyway, you know how when
Should.
you're in a show and everything just feels like the music is just permeating everything? That's what Life is Strange is like when you play that game. It feels like it's a part of you, and the music doesn't seem out of place. Oh my god, I love it.
Right?
Play
See,
it.
I knew as soon as I mentioned it, you're like, oh, I gotta go off about this. But that one definitely, like, visually and just for the audio,
Mhm.
makes it like a really good PS5 experience. And
Mhm.
if you already like the Life is Strange games, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just another great installment.
Nice,
I-
nice.
I-
Good
agreed.
to know.
That's that.
Marcus, the good games.
Yeah. The good games. I mean, well, we pretty much touched them.
Yep.
Miles Morales was so awesome, and like I remember, like that was like as soon as I got the PS5, that came part with the pre-order. I pre-ordered that. I pre-ordered Miles
Me
Morales,
too.
and it was beautifully done. It worked really well on the PS5. Like, it was so much fun to play. And again, the audio stuff was really cool. I ended up buying my 3D headset thing after my pre-order, because I kind of like at first was like, no, I don't think I need the headset right away. And then 2 days later, I was like, shit, I need the headset, and they were already sold out. I ended up going through the shopping channel of all things, and I got it through there. Yeah. It was really, really random. I could not find them anywhere, and then all of a sudden the shopping channel just had them, and I was like, oh, okay. So I pre-ordered there, and it was the first thing to arrive. Before my PlayStation showed up, the headphones showed up.
I found the Pulse 3Ds harder to get than the PS5.
Yeah, me too.
That's what most people were saying. So I
at
didn't think I was going to get them, but the audio, like the 3D audio, it was Miles Morales was the first time I really kind of realized what was going on in there, and I was like, oh my god, people talking around me. You can hear where they are and stuff like that. Was super cool.
Like,
and
I could pick out the additional voice actors.
Yeah.
Yes, Molly Montano.
It is. It is.
I hear her. She is in there.
But like, it was a really cool game, and everything. I wish there was more. I wish I could have just kept playing more of it. But it's a really good demonstration of where they're going to be going with stuff like that. Aside from Astros, that was the first game that I really felt some haptic feedback kind of being pushed a little bit, which was pretty cool. And then Rift Apart was just such an amazing PS5 game, and really, I wish it was released when the PS5 came out. Like, I wish I had that day one, because I would have rocked that game so hard. I loved it. But either way, it worked out really well, and I loved playing it. It was a good game. And then everything else was just a lot of, like, these are PS4 games that are optimized for PS5 and that kind of thing. And I liked what I was playing, like anything that I kind of got introduced to, but nothing else really blew me away besides those. I'm really looking forward to the next set of games, I'm hoping, that are coming out. But yeah, awesome. Loved them all. So like, there's only been a handful of like what I consider bad. Like, everything else has been pretty good, and I've actually really been enjoying, because of the PlayStation Plus, whatever, like all the free monthly games. Like, just playing a bunch of these random games has been kind of fun. Some of them are shitty, but some of them are like really cool. Can't remember that one. There was that one where it was like almost like graffiti with monsters, and it was like magical and stuff like that.
Concrete Genie.
Concrete Genie.
Amazing.
I totally forgot about that.
That game was incredible.
Like, that was just such an interesting game, and I was just like, I downloaded it because I was like, that kind of looks neat, and I'm like, it's free, I'll try it. And then like, I just remember playing it for like, I was 3 hours into it, and I think my wife came by and she was like, "What are you playing?" I'm like, "I can't even explain this. I don't know how to tell you this." But
I gotta paint. I gotta paint.
Yeah, I gotta paint these things. You don't understand.
Did you just find yourself painting every wall, even though you didn't have to sometimes? Like,
Yes,
sometimes I was running around, I was like, I just wanna like
the colors and the lights and like the sounds that is made. Like, it was just so cool, and I loved the character. I loved being that character. Like, it was so cool. So like, just like being introduced to stupid, interesting little games like that. And shit, I'm gonna laugh with this one. Eric, you know you love your bug snacks.
I fucking love bug snacks. That's gonna be on my list.
Bug snacks is
Yeah,
so
I'm
good.
gonna wait for Eric to talk about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, because I think bug snacks was Eric's love child more than anybody else's, so I'll let him do it. But that was cool. Like, it was just like a really weird game that I was like, what is this? And then just holy shit.
I recently re-downloaded that because I never finished it, and I'm like, I want to go back and just replay it from the beginning. And
that was my
finish
first
it.
platinum on the PS5.
It's the same thing. I didn't finish, I never finished it. And yeah, okay. So anyway, those are my games. Eric, take it.
There's a free update to Bug Snacks coming in, I think March, where they're adding a new island of giant Bug Snacks. So you can go back into the game. It's free. Anyway, Steve, you go before me because I'm going to talk about Bug Snacks forever.
I don't. As you should. I don't have much to say because the funk that I was in before the hype for the PS5, and then even after getting it, kind of continued. So, truthfully, I haven't really used it that much, but I also haven't been doing much else. I haven't been playing anything. I've been watching anything. I have to reiterate, Astros is basically a system demonstrator tech demo, but it's the best system demonstrator tech demo that has
Like,
ever
they-
been made.
Other
They
than-
literally developed it into a full game.
The only
Like,
other
It's a
one
game.
that's
Yeah.
as good is Wii Sports. Like I'd put it up there. Like Wii
Oh,
Sports.
sure.
Was
Yeah.
perfect.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah. That's actually a really good comparison because most people did actually play Wii Sports,
Yeah.
and so you can appreciate that. Yeah, Astros is a wonderful little like Sony love fest because it references like there's like collectibles that reference like all of its like games and its history and stuff like that. But it's genuinely a fun game with like, you know, full on like good level design. And yeah, okay, it demonstrates all the sort of like the fun little elements that the machine can do, which is I think the primary purpose of it, but the game itself is solid. So just for everyone who skipped it, because yeah, obviously you look at that and just go, oh, that's just like the tech demo. It's actually a good game. So I want to push that.
Mhm.
And my primary reason for, well, that I, in my mind, to justify buying the machine was Dark Souls. And so I will second what Brent said. It is it's gorgeous.
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls.
Sorry, Demon Souls. Sorry, Demon Souls. Yes, Demon Souls. Yeah, when I found
Did
out that
you-
those guys were making it.
Did you ever play the original PS3 version?
Yeah. So I didn't get very far in the new version because I just didn't play the PS5 that much. But
Yeah.
it was great. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed Demon Souls. What I did played on the PS5. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's like this is how to do a remake, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, at this point, it's not,
Blue
there's
Point
nothing-
they're incredible. Like I can't say enough good things about them as a company for how they do remakes. Like I'm actually, before I really get into Sekiro, I'm thinking of taking like a little breather from all of those games and doing a replay of Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh,
Because I absolutely
I've
love
never
the
beat
remake
that
of that.
game.
I've beaten it 6 times and I fucking love that
It
game.
is so good.
Nice.
Have you
So
played
good.
the PS5 one though, Marcus?
Yep, I
Okay,
literally
good.
I just played it just little, like maybe a couple.
They did a
months, maybe-
PS5 version?
No, sorry, whatever the
Like a
PS4.
PS4, I think. Yeah, the
Yeah, the
Yeah,
remaster.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
PS4.
It's on my PS5.
Jesus, blew my mind there for a second.
Sorry.
All good.
I have had a little bit of this, so yeah,
I'm on number
The
5,
older-
so
nice. The only other game that I've played at any length was Ghost Runner, which is like a runner game where you're like a cyber ninja, and yeah, again, I mean,
That's
it's
a
a
PC
PS4 game. I mean,
Yeah. As well.
they just did a PS5 update, but I actually haven't done it yet, so I'll have to check to see what changes they made. But
Fair.
yeah, honestly, yeah, Demon Souls and Astros is kind of the only two that I played, and yeah, no, it's a great system. I just haven't really found my thing yet.
There aren't that many like console exclusives that I would say really are hitting the top. Like pretty much everything that we've said have been like really good ones.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I will add my sorry.
no, go.
We'll add that I actually had not played Spider-Man on PS4. So my first experience of Spider-Man was on the PS5.
Yeah,
with
the
remake.
remaster's really
I
good.
specifically waited on
And-
all of those ones that were for both. I waited for the until I got the
Yeah.
PS5 to play them.
So I haven't played Miles yet because I didn't finish Spider-Man, but I will say, oh, it was tough picking between the ray tracing and the 60 frames.
Dude,
I ended
the
up going with the
60
60 frames.
Oh, so much
Because it's
better.
just like I never experienced that before, right? I mean, obviously, right? So that really made it. But yeah, I have to say, yeah, I really enjoyed Spider-Man, but I still have to finish everything.
And
I
now
didn't
you've
go
been
back.
playing on
And-
PC, so it's 60 frames all the time or higher.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
And
A
really,
little bit.
really quickly before Eric
Fucking scum.
orgasms about bug snacks for 20 minutes.
He should.
I just like two games. One, I'm shocked nobody mentioned yet. I'm surprised I didn't mention it. The only reason I didn't is because there was a PS4 version as well. But Sackboy.
I was gonna put that on my
Absolutely.
list.
Just for me, if nothing other than the music for that game, just oh my god!
So
I can't get
Sackboy: A
enough
Big
of that.
Adventure is actually a really fun game, and it was the game I bought
Yeah.
for my daughter because
Yeah.
we're like, there's platforming, and then you play the game and you realize it's really fucking hard when you get into the later levels. So she's like, I don't want.
Yeah.
Can you do this level for me? I was like, sure. I can't really control two controllers at the same
I-
time, but I'll try.
Yeah.
I have to get the platinum for that. I need to do all the co-op levels to get the platinum. So
We
maybe
can
you and
do
I'll
it,
get on
me
at some
and
point,
you.
definitely.
Uh,
And then the one last one.
Stop taking my
this
list.
Yeah, this you're not going to mention this one, Charles. This one is one of the like the PS5 upgrades that they did.
Okay,
is
fair.
Neo 2. The Neo 2 PS5 upgrade,
Oh, Neo.
unbelievable because it is. I I correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah,
it is the only game that I know of that functions properly on 120 FPS.
I don't know actually.
They have 120 FPS 4K capability for that upgrade, and
Really?
this
is something we're gonna have
Holy
to
shit.
send off to the internet and be like, let us know if that's true.
I'm not sure if any other ones have done it, but it's the first one.
I've heard
of
a
the
couple
remasters that did it.
Yeah. My list includes everyone's here, so I'm not going to talk about those amazing games. I'm glad you mentioned Spider-Man Remastered because I was going to put that on the list because it's actually really, really good. I'm going to put on Returnal, which is like neon bullet gore, like fucking time loop, amazing, very hard, makes me want to throw my controller at my TV.
Yeah, isn't it like roguelike bullet hell? That's the best.
It's roguelike bullet hell.
Yeah, that one's gonna be kind of on my bad list.
I love that game, and now that
I do too. But
you can suspend it now, which
I do
good.
too. But I'll get it when we get to the bad. I'll get into why it's on my bad list. But I do love the game. I think it's great.
Fair.
It's just there's something about it that puts it on my bad list.
Nope. Good. Final Fantasy. We talked about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is an amazing upgrade. I really like the Immortal Phoenix Rising. It took the Ubisoft formula, and it was not as. So I'm playing Far Cry 6 right now, which is a fucking big game. Immortals Phoenix Rising was more fun because it's smaller and compact. It was funny as shit.
Fucking hilarious!
And like, it was just a good game. It ran really well into PS5. It was gorgeous. Let's see, what was the other one?
I'm more interested in Immortals than Far Cry 6, to be honest.
That's fair. It is better than Far Cry 6. I'm just playing Far Cry 6 because I'm playing Far Cry 6. What was the other one?
Spider-Man Far Cry from Home.
Bug Snacks, which I bought the soundtrack for in vinyl for.
I love it.
This game is so fucking weird and good, and it's so funny, and I like I don't even know what else to explain. It's such a weird fucking game. I love it so much. It's fun. The music is fun. The characters are weird, and every time you feed them a bug snack, part of their body turns into that fruit. It's just like, what the fuck?
I don't know what this game is. You've been talking about it like nonstop.
It was free on PlayStation.
Did you know? It was free. It was free when I launched it. Yeah.
No, I just haven't played anything. Okay, it's got nothing to do with me being biased against bug snacks. Okay, I will play it, but I'm very curious now because
think of it as Pokemon with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I think it's. I get the impression that it's Pokemon, but kind of dark. That's all.
Oh,
that's
it gets fucking dark.
Yeah.
It gets dark.
Oh damn!
It does, which is crazy. I also have to give a shout out that the PlayStation 5 or Sony has released the PSN collection, which is a shit ton of PS4 games for free for PS5 owners, and so it has like Batman.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, you did. I told you about this. It has. Let me see what games are on this.
I love that. Like
PS
for me,
Plus
like I already owned like the majority of those games when they came out, but there was a couple on it like Days Gone and Last Guardian that I've always been like, I don't know if I want to get it. I want to play, but I don't want to pay for it. And then they throw it on there. I'm like,
this is the
beautiful.
list: Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15. That's the bro one where you drive a car and you go across. That's the one. God of War, which, if you haven't played God of War, it's free.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Infamous Second Son, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, which, you should play. Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, which is 10, Persona 5, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil 7, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Until Dawn. Like, that's a great list of free games.
An insane collection, yeah.
Freaking love the Uncharted series. Like the fact that you're just getting Uncharted is amazing.
That was when I bought my PS4. That was the one I bought was the Uncharted bundle.
Yep.
And I had no idea what Uncharted was. Woo! I only bought it because when I bought the bundle, it also came with God of War 3 for free. And I was like, I want God of War 3 and Uncharted. Oh, there's 3 games? Yeah, sure, I'll get that. And then when I got it, all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. I remember hearing about this, the male Tomb Raider one, and I sat there and played it, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
That's fair. That's very fair.
That's exactly what that is.
Or updated Indiana Jones, which you could also say.
It is, yeah, no, it's the one that reiterated Tomb Raider and then forced Tomb Raider to reiterate again.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's true.
But I'm thankful for those reiterations.
Exactly.
Yes.
Uncharted 3 just celebrated its 10th anniversary this past week,
God,
which is
I'm
crazy to think about
Crazy.
because I was living in Toronto at that time. Weird. Yeah, and they're releasing the PS5 remastered of those games in the spring, which is I'm looking forward.
I'm waiting
to
for those. Yeah, I want to replay the series, but I want to wait for that to get it.
Yeah, I started playing the first one this week, and I was like, oh, I should just wait.
Yeah.
I should just wait until it's
rough.
prettier. So we should probably talk
Same
about.
thing. I'm dying to play Witcher 3. I've been dying to play it for years.
That'll
and
come out eventually.
I kept starting it and then stopping because it was such a big game. And then finally I was like, I have to play it. And then they announced, oh, we're going to do a PS5 remaster. I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta wait.
You toss your coin to the remaster.
Toss a coin to you. Which we should probably talk about the bad
backwards.
or at least the not great for the PS5. I'm going to just start off this for the video games because there's been a shit ton of remakes on the PS5, and I'm just like, they're not always just like. They're not like Final Fantasy VII where they actually redid it properly and it's gorgeous, or Miles Morales or not Miles Morales or Spider-Man remastered or Miles or Demon
They're not really
Souls.
remasters. They're just kind of like ports.
Yeah, they're
sometimes.
ports, and that's been happening a lot this past year, and I don't like that. That's probably the worst thing about the PS5. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like they're trying to fill the void of just like because of the pandemic, there being so many gaps in like production and stuff. They're just like. Real quick, let's just hire a bunch of people and then port this game.
I'm an asshole. I think they're just lazy and they're just cash grabs as far as I'm concerned.
Money.
No, because you can do it better, right? Like Demon Souls is a perfect example of a true remaster. Okay, those guys like went all out to like remake that game.
They probably spent a long time on that though, as well.
I don't expect every game to be remastered to that degree, right? Because we're talking about PS3 to PS5. It skipped a whole generation, right?
Steven, sorry, can you keep it down? Mark's sleeping.
He's not sleeping.
The Spider-Man remaster is a good example. The Spider-Man remaster is a good example of like an incremental upgrade, right? And yeah, I totally agree. I think a lot of these like PS5 upgrades are just trash as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's a weird time. So yeah, I totally agree. Like I don't have much to add to this bad section because I haven't played that much, but yeah, I totally want to jump on what Eric just said. I think a lot of we got to wait a little longer for like the PS5 library to fill out.
I think the pandemic and having just that like that lull in gaming, like we're in a current lull right now, and I don't think I've played anything on the PS5 in a while, which is actually sad. But yeah. Anyone else? Just pop in.
Yeah, I got some bad ones.
Got a lot of bad
I mean, like
too.
just right off of launch, the one that disappointed me the most, I was really upset that this game was horrible. It was Godfall.
Yeah,
I was so excited for that one. Like hearing the comparisons about how it's like Dark Souls meets Monster Hunter, and like you're gonna do all of these quests and beat these enemies and get their armor and all, and it's just literally every mission is just the same area, clearing the same enemies, just the same thing over and over and over again. And after about 2 hours, I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And I asked a friend of mine who I'd loaned the game to. He's like, "Yeah, I played for about 8 hours, and it's literally just
that's a long time."
And I mentioned earlier, I have two other ones that I'm going to put on the bad one. And Eric, you're probably going to hate me for both of them, but I'm putting Returnal on the bad list.
That's fair. I know a lot of people hate it.
It's because it's so unnecessarily unforgiving, that game.
Metroid?
I mean,
what?
like
Metroid Dread.
But I mean, like like how in the game, after you clear an area, like you get some kind of an upgrade and you open some kind of path that allows you to skip that first area to progress further, so you don't have to keep redoing the same thing.
Yeah.
But if you don't redo every inch of the game every time you play it, you just don't get the power that you need. And if you wander into some area because it's randomly generated, they will randomly like. All of a sudden, the first room you walk into happens to be the hardest room of that level. And you just get annihilated right away. And it's like, I just sat here carefully playing this game for 3 hours to make sure that I do as well as I can. And then one little slip up, gone. Start over.
Have you gone past the third biome?
No carryover. No.
Okay. So after
I got
the
as far as getting the grappling hook. And then
so the second biome.
And that's what it.
The second biome was the. So after.
I'm on the third one.
As soon as you get past the third one, or once you hit the third one, I can't remember which one, you can automatically start from that biome going forward. So you get the higher weapons at that point going forward.
But you get the higher weapons regardless, because if you skip the biomes, then they start at the beginning of every new biome. They give you what you need to get your weapon status up to where you would be at that point.
We need a Returnal review.
But they don't give you your health upgrades. So you're playing at the harder levels with base level health.
But you can get
base level.
That's fair.
But you don't have any of the attachments. You don't have any of the upgrades except for the weapon, and that's it. So it's like they punish you for doing well and wanting to skip ahead.
So it's I think that's more.
You have to be an insane glutton for punishment, in my opinion, to really sit down and dedicate to that game.
I like those eyebrows. That was good.
And the other the other one I'm going to put on the negative, and again, Eric, you might shit on me for this one, is I'm putting Deathloop on the negative.
I can understand that too.
Not because it's like Returnal. It's not a bad game. It's just it was so misadvertised.
It's misadvertised, it was really, and it's very confusing. It was presented as it is this. It is a roguelike. It is you start here, you have 8 targets. If you die along the way, you go back to the beginning. You learn along the way, you get better, and you repeat. And then when you actually sit down and play the game, it's like, no, this is like a murder mystery game where I have to go around solving clues and piecing together the puzzle, which is, it's not bad, but that's not what they advertised. That's not what they presented the game as. Such a big run and gun mystery game.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to like strategically figure out how to get through a level and not die, which I think is phenomenal.
And not only like not die, but at the same time go, how do I take out these 8 targets? How do I strategically do each level? Like, what order do I do them in to place them in it? And I'm like, that's not the game I paid for. That's not what you said it was. And that makes me upset when you present it one way and then it's something completely different.
I give it a solid 5 out of 7.
I give it 8.
That's an internet meme. Sorry, Steve.
20.
I don't like internet.
Anyone else?
Did you hear? I'm sorry, really quick. Did you hear the story about that recently?
Which the internet?
The voice actor, the guy who played the voice acted the lead in Deathloop, apparently went out publicly and said that he can't play the game because he hasn't been able to get a PS5.
We're gonna put that under the ugly of the console.
I didn't realize it was for Deathloop, but that is
so
funny.
Bethesda sent him the console so he could play the game, and then someone pointed out, like, why was that not in his contract to begin with? Like,
maybe they just assumed he had one.
Yeah, they kind of assume by now, but unfortunately, all those assumptions are wrong.
I mean, we don't have to talk about specific games, like how it said that there are lots of remakes. But if you guys have any specific you want to shout out,
I have stuff about the console too, but I just want to get the games out of the way.
There was a game that I tried to play with my buddy Ryan, and we both just fucking hated it. It was Outriders, and
I love that game.
I
love it.
Hated it. It pissed me off the entire time. I hated it. I didn't like it at all.
That's the anthem of this generation, apparently.
That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like one of those, like, because like I was watching videos and I was watching like trailers for it, and I was like, this looks awesome. And then we started playing it, and like we were both just like, this is not the game we thought it was, and I just didn't like it. It was just more of a pain in the ass. And then
I think that's why I loved it. I didn't know anything about it going into it. I was just told by somebody, buy it and let's play together. So I did, and I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like. I think I probably would have enjoyed it more if I had if it was like a 4-person team and that we were kind of just like, fuck it, let's just go buck wild and shoot shit. Like, it might have been better. I don't know, but just the way we were in at the time, it put such a sour taste, and so it's forever on my shit list.
Yeah, it's interesting. As somebody, sorry, I'll let you finish. But
I'm gonna let you finish, but
like, as somebody who is totally like kind of outside of this whole thing, because I really haven't played anything, and I don't know when I'm going to get back to it. All of these ones I did catch the flack for: Godfall, Outriders, and Returnal, and Deathloop. I heard all the negatives for them, so I know at least if I ever try any of these things, I'll be more prepared for my expectations. But all 4 of those were sold wrong.
Throw
Hey,
Destruction All Stars into the mix as one of the shittiest games ever made.
I literally was
Remember
going to say that one too because it was
Yeah.
like one of those free PS Plus ones.
Like, yeah, it was literally like we're charging $80 for this, and then somebody played it and went, no, you're not. We're giving this away for
Is
free.
that? I don't remember that one.
It's like the
It's the
arena
Demolition
battle.
Derby one.
Yeah, but it's like an arena battle kind of.
okay. Yeah. And you can
fucking-
get out of your car and you can like fight melee at the same time. It was
What?
meant to be like one of the huge launch games, and then like they played it and they went like no, and then so they gave it away for free, and then everyone like when it came out for free, everyone played it for about 3 days and then went done.
Oh no!
If you want a current version of this month's PlayStation Plus free game of Knockout City, it's a dodgeball game that's not very good.
I like Knockout City though. I had fun playing that. Like if you're playing with your friends, it's fun. If you're playing by yourself, it's
weird. The jumping is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
No,
Just wanted to ask Marcus though. So I got the impression that Outriders is kind of like a Destiny light. So what is Outriders? Like, why is it so crappy in your opinion?
It's just like the way it's structured, the way it felt like it was just lazily done. Like it just didn't feel like a finished game. It didn't feel polished. It just felt really kind of chunky. It felt like something that I would be playing on Xbox 360. That's literally like it felt like an Xbox 360 game that looked nicer and had the online co-op capability kind of thing. And that's it. And I just didn't like it.
Steve, you want to know an apt comparison? It's Anthem meets Gears of War. That's what it is.
Yes, that's really good actually.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it felt like. And
Okay, well, at least I know. Yeah. And if I go into it, I'll have that expectation. So I was like, okay, that's fine, right?
It's on Game Pass if you want to try it out.
No, I know.
Yeah,
No, the truth is,
I want to get into it again.
Sorry?
The way they sold it, it looked like Destiny. That's what I thought
That's
it
what
was.
they
I thought
wanted
it was
to-
another. Yeah, it was like I thought it was like, well, it can't possibly be Destiny because it's too new. But I was like, oh, okay, it's a new Destiny Light, right? Yeah. So no, that's a good example. So at least I know going into it.
I keep seeing it on my stories.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, I want to put it back on. I want to replay it, but I don't want to play it by myself. I want to play it with other people. So
I find like the most of the multiplayer games on the PlayStation 5 are not really great right now. Most of the single player story ones are really where it shines. It's
true.
But, and for me, that's one of those things like that I'm finding with like the games that are available now and stuff. Like there's too many games that are dependent on that online co-op kind of playing and stuff like that. And I don't buy my games like this is just me. Obviously, other people are different, but I prefer a game that I can do both with.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather have the single player option as like a functioning like high point to the game, and then. Yeah. You know, icing on the cake, you can also do online co-op and like play stuff like that. Dude. I hate games that are specifically online co-op or so heavy on online co-op that any kind of single player campaign is pretty much a throwaway.
Yeah.
And I hate those kind of games. That's me. Not everybody, but I hate.
No, I'm with you on that. I have a quick question for everybody. This was one of the games that I was kind of shocked when they announced that they were giving it away for free on the PS Plus. And I have it, and I've been wanting to play it, but I haven't really got into it except for the tutorial levels. Has anyone played the Oddworld Soulstorm?
Yep.
How is it?
It's all right. It's a side scroller. It's It's all right.
I played the tutorial level, and I couldn't get into it because like every 3 seconds they were throwing another tutorial mechanic at you, and I was just like, I just want to fucking
it's all right.
play. Like stop it.
Most of the PSN Plus games this year have been either really good or just whatever.
They've run out. I mean, how many possible PS5 games can they give away? There's not enough, right? I mean, the menu is too short.
Yeah.
What I'll say for them is what I really expected them to be doing this year is I expected them to be giving away like the upgrade versions on PSN.
That would have been better.
So that's what I was really anticipating. So what I will say in their favor is I'm really shocked that they're doing the upgrades for free and they're giving away brand new games for PS5 each month. Like, that surprised the hell out of me.
Except when it comes to Ghost of Tsushima.
That game is, I didn't say that. Oh my God, that upgrade was so good.
It's worth it. It is worth it, but it's just,
I haven't bought it.
It was kind of like, come on.
I still haven't done the
new
island.
It's sitting on my hard drive.
It's so pretty.
Someone
Oh my god.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Go
go. No, it's good. Go. Just go.
I was going to say, somebody who, this being the first thing I ever lined up for, but also kind of as an observer of like, video game trends over the last couple generations. I mean, truthfully, like we're still, because of COVID especially, and it's only been a year, we're still in that like transitional period. And
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like every game that comes out now has to still have a PS4 version, which is just strapping it. Like it's just holding it back, right?
Well, we were talking about that for Elden Ring, right?
I'm so upset
Right.
that I love that they're creating it for PS4 so that a lot more people get a chance to play it, because I think like From Software and Miyazaki especially have created such a phenomenal genre of games. So I'm happy about that, but at the same time, selfishly, I'm like, fuck you, PS4 players. Like, I wish that this was a PS5 exclusive so that it could be as pretty as Demon's Souls was.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
But I think our whole episode has proven like we're in this elite club right now, and there's just not enough PS5s. I mean, it's a mess.
That's a good thing to talk about. Like, we can talk about, like, that's a really bad thing. Like, it's a year later and people cannot find PS5 still.
Yeah.
I feel terrible when I mention a game or like say offhandedly like my PS5 to a coworker who's just like, "Oh, cool, I've been trying to get one for 2," and I'm like, I'm not even rubbing it in. I just forget that nobody else has it, and I just lucked out on having someone who got me one. But
really,
it's rough.
Really good PS4 games, in my opinion, didn't come out until 3 years in, and for us, it might be 4 at this point. Because like it's just everything's so delayed. So I agree. Ratchet and Clank, fantastic. That was a PS5 exclusive. There's not going to be very many, right? Like it's only Sony who can afford to do stuff like that, right? So
but Sony is buying a bunch of studios, so I'm excited to see that.
Stuff.
Very good to know.
I rewatched. I rewatched the trailer footage that they submitted for this. But does anyone know? Does the Wukong Black Myth, is that going to be PS5 exclusive?
I don't even know what that is.
Or is that
for sure, but I am excited
Chinese
for
game.
it.
Yeah,
I'm super excited for that game, but I'm hoping it's a PS5 exclusive. Like I don't want to cross gen.
No, it's cross-gen.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's cross-gen.
We're
coming out for everything.
We're 1 year out of the PS5, which means we're gonna have cross-gen games for at least another year.
Would have been anyway.
Yeah.
Normally, under normal circumstances, like this is still like when let's think about this. Assassin's Creed Unity came out, right? The French Revolution one.
Yay.
Okay, that was a generational one. Okay, I mean we're in that phase, so we can't really break away.
So we're
from
waiting
that
for
reputation,
Syndicate, which was a good game.
I'm okay with, like, I do love Sony console exclusives because like sometimes they're really cool games, but I don't mind when they come out for other systems, or even if like maybe there's a Sony exclusive for like 1 year and then other systems get it, because like I just feel bad when other people I know they're like, well, I'm not gonna buy a PS5 just to play this.
Yeah.
Isn't that something that came up recently? Like that some Sony games were actually going to be made for PC and people were going to get stuff. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. Like this whole like exclusive strategy, right? Because that's what it was. It was a tactic, right?
Yeah.
Is just bad for gaming, right? I mean, trying to create this Xbox versus PlayStation versus PC.
People think that the console
right?
wars are still a thing. I'm like, they died out.
Oh, it's over.
Like,
it's still over. But it's still
just
war
people
for
crying
them.
at their keyboards.
It's still war for them because like I like the fact that they're releasing on PC because they don't want to release it on another console. That's their reason to get people into that console. But PCs are something that everyone has now. So
it's funny how PC survived, like weathered this whole console war. It just kept going,
Yeah.
That's really at the end of the day.
Because you have to have like a whole fucking engine.
Yeah.
Like no, it's complicated. No, I left PCs for a solid 10 years because the PS3 and the PS4 covered all my gaming needs for that whole period,
Then,
so I get it,
Then we lured you back. We're like, come, Steve.
I just needed a new computer.
Are you excited for Among Us to finally be on the PS5? It's happening next month.
I have it on PC. Okay, that's another thing I want to talk about this generation.
I just wasn't able to stream it.
The PS5, I appreciate that this is the generation where PlayStation Xbox and PCs are all starting to play together. Like I love the fact that we can play Back for Blood across across different platforms.
That's why the console wars are over. I mean, the fact that cross-gen and cross-platform playing is now a thing, which it should be.
Yeah.
But
you play Fall Guys now,
done.
and you're like, "Damn, is this person playing on mobile? The fuck?"
I know.
No, they're just terrible. The only issue is that I think Sony's the one that still has a firm grasp on that. They're the ones that are like, this game can be cross-platform or cross console, and then this one can't. Like, and that's sort of
they have
shitty.
the most to lose, right?
Go ahead. That's the only reason why I don't own an Xbox. I'm like, because I've got a PC, I've got a Switch, I've got a PS5, and anything Xbox releases within a year is going to be on at least one of those three.
Yeah,
it's true.
Like I remember almost buying an Xbox because I was so desperate to play the Ori series. And then when I bought the Switch, I went on the store for going like, oh, what should I buy? And I'm like, shit, it's on the store. Like,
and then it looks better on the Switch anyway.
It does, which is crazy.
Up the FPS. Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to talk about? Because I sort of want to end this on: is it worth buying a PS5? Was it worth buying it in that beginning? Go for it. Go.
There was one thing I forgot. Like and again, not exactly exclusively PS5, but it's because while I was with the PS5 is when I bought it. I started playing Hades, and I just love that game. And again, I really don't like the roguelike style games. Like I just, it's not my kind of gaming. And but that game is so much fun and so awesome. But I love it because it's also a smaller independent game that has been able to grow and amass and became very popular and stuff like that. So it also just gives me hope for what I'm hoping will become like more cool, smaller, independent game companies that can still kind of break through and become awesome.
Yeah.
So
Hades is my comparison of Hades is a roguelike done right, and Returnal is a roguelike done wrong.
That's what I haven't even played Returnal, but I don't think I ever could, because I know it's just going to
frustrating.
It's just going to piss me off to the point where I could never ever appreciate.
I found Metroid Dread way more frustrating than.
I'll never play Metroid Dread either.
I will say that Hades.
You dread it.
Yep, that's true. Hades was created by Supergiant Games, who created Bastion and Transistor and Pyre. I don't know if you guys have played those games, so those are all phenomenal games. Bastion's such a good game.
They know what they're doing.
Hades is one of those games I've bought on multiple platforms just so that I can have it wherever I can play it, and it's such a good game. I know Brent.
I have it on the Switch and I have it on the PS. I only got it on the PS because I wanted to platinum it.
That's fair.
So,
Valid. I'll say that I do love like the PS5 interface and the system itself. I really like. The only downside is not having the dynamic themes and shit you used to have on the PS5.
I missed that too.
There were so many amazing themes. That is literally when people ask like, "What's the downside of the PS5?" I'm just like, "Well, games are slow to come out, and then you don't have your fucking cool ass themes. God damn it."
That's true. That customization,
Plus side is that if you got the PS5, then you're able to get your free monthly games for the PS5, free monthly games for the PS4 as well that you can download onto your PS5 too. So like. The amount of free games I get, sometimes I'm like, did I buy all these games? Am I spending so much money? But I'm like, nah, half of them were free.
Even if you don't have the PS5, you can still, I keep telling people, you can still get those games. You can just put them in your library, and then when you eventually get the PS5, you've got them.
Yeah, I've been telling people that as well.
True, you can.
Yeah.
I think other than that, I think the only thing that I wish is that the PS5 had bigger storage. The internal hard drive is sort of a pain in the ass because it's soldered onto the motherboard, which is a pain. But putting in a solid state drive is actually really easy. It's just really expensive because Gen 4 drives are stupid expensive.
What did you?
I was looking at the prices of them, and I'm like, oh, I want to get one, but
I don't have
yet.
But at what cost?
Because all I have on my PS5 is Warzone. That's it, right? Because that's all it'll fit, right?
Yeah. That's a 500 gig hard drive.
I do remember when people were downloading that game, they're like, "Oh my god, Warzone is taking up all of my space."
I looked at.
I have 7 indie games.
I looked at after Christmas. I was like, I have a couple jobs coming up where I'm going to be getting like some decent paychecks, and I'm like, I could either get the upgraded hard drive. I'm like, I could buy that collector's edition Elden Rings with the figurines and everything, and I'm kind of leaning that direction.
Yeah.
Gotta get
So
the figurines.
so you need a Gen 4 drive, a solid state drive,
Okay.
and it has to have a higher read write speed than I think 5 or 7 gigs or something like that.
Mm.
So the one I did was the Western Digital Black SN850. For Canadians, I think it's on sale right now for about $120 for 500
Oh, that's not
gigs,
too bad.
which is not
Oh, that's
that bad.
cheaper
not
than
too bad.
Yeah.
I saw them at like 250.
So normally they were 200 something, but I'm pretty sure they're on sale
Yeah.
right now. So check out.
Okay.
Plus we have Black Friday
Okay.
deals. They're not, US Black Friday deals, but they're,
Yeah.
nice, not getting
Good to
trampled
know.
over deals.
I think it's
So-
great.
And quickly, before we move on, I'll like my negatives that I will just get out, like besides games for the consoles. Number one, I seem to be the only one that has this issue: battery life in the controllers. They drain so fast for me. Like I find that I don't know, maybe I'm just playing a lot more than
I think
most
it's
people,
just-
but
Same
I'm
as like
finding-
a PS4.
yeah, I'm finding just in general, like I'm constantly like I have 2 on my charging dock at all
Yeah, me
times, and I'm
too.
constantly swapping them out.
Switch out, yeah.
I think it's like
And
a
I
week,
also-
which is not bad for me.
Oh, I get a day. I get like
Yeah, I was gonna
4
say-
hours and 4
All
hours,
those
and I have to recharge
Metrovanias,
them.
man.
yeah.
Metrovania.
Like,
I will
if
say I
I-
use mine
proven,
for
they take
streaming a lot, and
60%
my
more
family
energy.
members will keep watching stuff, and then like every time I go to pick up my controller, it's dead, and then I have to switch it. And I'm like, you guys have to switch the controllers. Oh my god.
If I stream like 4 hours a day, like I'm finding that by the end of that, I'm having to swap the controller out.
Hmm.
The only other thing, and I don't know if anyone else has had this issue, because I know that they came out and said not to put your system in sleep mode, but to shut it off.
That's only if you had an
Now-
external hard drive attached to the back USB port. Because
Oh, that's why it is. Because I've
Because-
had
yeah.
that happen
Dangerous.
twice, where it's almost wiped my console on me.
so if you had
Because it's completely frozen and almost, and it's told me both times like we may have to like wipe
Format.
your hard drive.
Because
So I
of the
make sure I
external?
never put it in sleep mode.
luckily it's all your saves are on the cloud, so it doesn't really matter. But downloading everything is a pain in the ass.
No, but it wiping everything means it's wiping all of the games, and I have to re-download
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Because I have an
What's-
external drive with like 60, 70 games on it, and I'm like, I don't want to have to re-download everything.
What's the error though? It has to do with externals needing
Yeah,
continual
it's-
power.
Yeah,
or-
I guess it's because it'll keep pumping out power and then it just sort of fritzes, I guess, when
Yeah,
it's in sleep. I always put mine in sleep mode. It's always in sleep
I put
mode.
it in sleep anyway.
Yeah, I shut mine off as soon as I'm done every time, and I've told everyone I know do the same thing just in case.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I mean, because the other systems are okay in sleep, so it's a known
Yeah.
error then.
Yeah, that's just like lots of things have silly sleep things, and it usually gets fixed.
For humans, we have silly sleep modes.
Yeah, like
But
right
I'll
now
tell you,
because
the-
I'm getting
the-
tired.
The first time that happened, when I
Sleep mode.
when I went to boot it up and it gave me that error message, my heart sank. Like, oh god, no!
pooped.
Like,
Like poop.
because I
All
thought,
of it.
like, oh my god, the system's done. Like, I gotta get a new one. Like,
This is
holy
We're gonna create
shit.
another PS5 story.
Oh
Another
yeah, that'd be
pre-order
amazing. All right, so
Like, who
we're,
are those 3 people? I gotta fucking send it back from the States, man. I want it back.
so we're 1 year into the PS5's lifespan. Was it worth buying at launch, Steve?
Just because of my own personal problems, no. But I like the system. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I have no complaints about the system itself. It is a wonderful system, really well built. Maybe a little early, maybe because of COVID. Not very many games, but there are some good single player ones. And playing the PS4 games, kind of worth it. I don't know. I don't regret it, but
Good.
I'm
Yep.
I'm a weirdo.
No, you're not weird. Well, yeah, you are, but not super weird. Marcus.
It was, to me, it was definitely worth it just because I didn't have, like, there's no stress of, like, will I get one? When will I get one? Like, that kind of, like, again, my best buddy, Ryan, was literally going through hell trying to get his. He kept putting himself on wait lists and waiting, and like every time I would get the lowdown on something, I'm like, oh, I know somebody who's selling one, or I found one over here. This place is selling them right now. Go now. And he would always just miss it. And he'd be like, God damn it. Like, it was just, like the stress that I could feel from him. I'm like, thank God I don't have to deal with that. Like, I was so happy that was just not even part of my world. So,
It's quite literally some people's white whale.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless
so
you get a
just-
midnight blackbird.
I spent a lot of time on, like, there was one specific site that I went on, and it was like the Sony Canadian and US tracker. that would basically like people would share information and be like, hey, I heard a rumor that this place is going to
Oh
be
my
like
God.
uploading
Heard
at
a
this time.
rumor.
And
Yeah.
and you would get like word that like, oh, Walmart at 3 p.m. this day is going to be
Yeah.
releasing them. So I
I
would
got
be
the
like,
Umbrella Academy.
I would be
reference.
on
Yeah,
with
no, that's
friends
why
of
I
mine.
said that.
I had a friend of mine who lives in
Stressing me
Ohio
out.
who she hadn't got one yet. So like 4 or 5 of us that did have them were on the Walmart site with her, going like refresh. Let's buy you one. Let's buy you
It
one. Let's buy you one.
didn't happen.
And it didn't happen. I'm just like at the end of it, like after spending like an hour of refreshing and trying to do this, I was just like, God, I have one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is why you got to
Yeah.
go to Shoppers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go to your local
Second
Honestly,
that.
pharmacy.
It's
You
those
get-
like it's those strange places because again, even the shopping channel when I went to get the headphones still had a PS5, like a few PS5s to pre-order, and I was like, the shopping channel. Who the hell thinks of the shopping channel?
I didn't even
And
know
That's
what
where you
who the
go
hell
for all
are
your
you?
shopping.
They have an online presence. I didn't even know that. I thought they were just exclusively TV, but whatever. So like, that was just
PC.
really interesting to me.
It's funny when supply chains break down, then you start to realize like, wow, we live in like this amazing capitalist future where like there's all these avenues that exist for people of different age groups, because only people like of a certain age would think of Shoppers Drug Mart or the
Yeah.
shopping channel, right? Like that's like
Yeah.
that's like 2 degrees removed
It's
from
like
us.
grandmas
right?
are out there getting PS5.
Yeah.
Us lonely plebeians are like, Walmart doesn't have any.
I don't know what the name of this guy is, but I watched this YouTube video recently. It's this guy who goes on and buys stuff off of Wish.
Oh no.
Oh,
Just
God.
specifically, he spends like $1,000 buying stuff off of Wish to see what actually comes, like how much of it is actually legit. And there was one episode he did where he bought a PS5 for $250 off of Wish, and when it was delivered, it was, I shit you not, literally a box of rocks.
That makes sense. That tracks. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
saw
a
that
box with 6 rocks in it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like that weighs about that much.
Well, but what about you, Brent? 1 year later, worth it?
Absolutely. I mean, like it. I would say normally, like every other generation, I've been able to wait long enough, but like for the Miyazaki from Software stand that I am, there was no effing way that I was going to wait a year to play the Demon Souls remake. Like there was just no chance. I had to play it immediately, so no regrets getting it as soon as I could.
Britt?
No. I absolutely love my PS5. I would say that I don't regret getting it at all. Sometimes I look at my bank account and then I'm like, ooh, honey. Then I remember, oh yeah, you did buy that PS5 a year ago, and then I'm like, you're fine. But for those reasons, maybe sometimes I'm like, regret?
Mhm.
But PS5 has made it like so much easier for me to like stream and do things with people.
Yeah,
Like I still
That's
was
true.
pretty active on the PS4, but sometimes the way you would have to connect to like YouTube if you wanted to stream straight on there, or like to Twitch, it was just annoying, and sometimes it would kick you out, and like I had too many issues streaming.
Difference.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
a significant
Yeah,
difference.
all I had to buy was the PS5, like the little camera thing, put it up top, and then I hooked up my Twitch one time. I've never had to redo it, and it's
Yeah.
been a year now.
That's
So,
actually a
like
huge
you guys know,
thing
I
for
play with you
streamers.
guys
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's so easy. I've never had any issues with like, a few issues with like sound stuff, but that's just like my mic headphones separate thing.
You got to get
Yeah,
one
mine.
of those.
I find mine cuts in and out a lot.
no,
when
I'm
I
getting one.
do it too.
yeah.
I just ordered one.
Nice.
As we were talking,
Um,
I went up and I was like, Pulse 3D headphones.
Were you, on
I'll-
this shopping channel?
No.
I'll say too, to kind of echo on like the financial aspect of it. Like for me, the PS5 like represented more than just the PS5 thing, because like I've spent my entire life working shitty jobs, making shitty paychecks, and just like slaving away horribly. And then last November, I finally decided screw it all, and I started my own company. And that's why I was able to finally, like, when I bought the 4 of them, I'm like, I'm actually in a place financially when I can do that. So like the PS5 didn't just represent like me getting a brand new console. It was like the first time in my life where I'm like, I actually have like this money
like, I'm
sitting there
fiscally
that
comfortable.
I can do
Yeah.
something. Yeah, it's the first time where I'm not scared about like where is the money coming from anymore. Like,
Yeah. That's awesome.
I feel you.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like looking at my PS5 and being like, I bought you.
Yeah.
You're worth it.
I like looking at it
I'm
and being
worth
like, I hope you don't break that shelf you're on. You're very heavy.
Oh yeah, every time.
That is
Yeah, I
also
love it.
true.
I use my PS5 every day, and I love it. And I still love my PS4. I still use it. I didn't get rid of it.
I use it more as a media console right now. Like I
Exactly.
love how easy it is, especially the little media remote. It's fun. Like it's fun. It feels nice in my hand.
Never
The
got
remote,
that.
I
I
love
missed
their-
Forgot
the-
about the accessories. They're all great.
Yeah,
forgot
the
that
charging station. I love the we talked about it before, the click, the like
The
magnetic, like
click.
I love hearing that click, and I'm just like, yeah. Starts charging, it turns itself off when it's done. Like it's just
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, the accessories, what a few I have, are really nice. I was gonna get that remote, and then they ran out, and then I forgot about it. So I
It's
gotta
really
get it.
nice, man. It feels
It's-
it's like the
Yeah.
perfect size, and it's just like it feels nice. The buttons. So
You know, the sad part is
It
I
is-
actually have a silicone sleeve for the remote, but I don't have the
Ooh.
actual remote. I
And
actually got
the headset's the only accessory I bought. I haven't bought the remote, and the charging station I got is one of those like secondary company ones. So.
It still does its job, but like
Yeah.
if you did buy like the official one, it has this nice like magnetic click when you put the controllers down, and I love it. It's
Mhm.
very nice.
It's very satisfying. For me, I don't think I regret it. I'm just sort of sad that the last couple months I haven't really used it much to play. I play Fall Guys with Brittany and Brendan, whoever, whenever we get a chance.
You have never played Fall Guys with me.
Yes, I have.
I have wanted to play. No, you have not.
No,
we
okay,
played
it was
Dave.
David.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to
was
play
gonna say,
Fall Guys
whoa,
with
but-
you. I have expressed my interest to play Fall
You
Guys
played
with you, but we have
Back
not
for
played Fall
Blood
Guys.
with
Back for Blood,
Yeah.
and we will play these games together. I do
play
like the
again.
ease of it. I think it's fun. My kids like it. I like that they gave us Overcooked for free. That was a phenomenal game to play as well. I forgot to mention that one. Other than that, I don't think I regret it. It gave me a really fun story to talk about how silly how silly we were to freak out over everything and then end up
I'm glad
getting
the
it.
five of us. I'm glad the five of us got to meet and
Yeah.
commiserate about it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
it wasn't for the PS5 and Ratchet and Clank, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
like the
True, that's
PS5,
true.
like I love that we were able to share that moment where where Ratchet and Clank sort of blew our brains. Like
Yeah,
just,
and we were just like, hold on.
I was like, how is
I
this
cried.
I think in retrospect, I'm gonna just say this, like, and I think this might sum it up for everybody. Like, I think the PS5 came out at the right time because we were all at that point mid-pandemic. Everything's scary in the world. Everything's going on. And this gave us all, as like gamers and console lovers, like this gave us something to like focus on and strive for, and it gave us like a sense of achievement when we got it that we weren't getting because the world was essentially shut down.
It's true.
It came at the right time, like
Well,
maybe not financially, but
I had a fun outro, but I don't want to go over that now. So no,
Yeah. Without the PS5, we wouldn't all be here now as friends talking.
it's true.
Oh, that's true.
Let's thank Brittany
Love
for
you
coming
guys.
on the show. Brittany, is there anything you would like to promote? Your stream, your other podcasts that maybe some other people up here are on and so on?
Shameless plug time. So, my name's Brittany Tomes. I go by Vocal Tomes on the internet, so you can follow me on anything, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. But I do stream on Twitch. I'm going to get back to my normal streaming schedule, which is usually like Monday, Wednesdays, sometimes Fridays with these fun people, or I just stream games by myself. I also have 2 podcasts that I'm on, which is Everything is Permitted, which is a nerdy podcast like this one. And then A Strange New Pod, which is a Star Trek themed podcast that I also do with Eric on here.
And we stream those on
So,
Thursdays.
You do.
So.
So yeah.
Oh wait, what do you
Check
do on
me out
Tuesdays?
Twitch. Oh yeah, I always forget this because I mentioned you on this show, and then I'm like, Geeks with Kids. They already know about the D&D thing. But anyway,
Yeah, we
on
have D&D.
Tuesdays,
Yeah.
I play D&D with Eric and Steve and other
And
people.
I get drunk on Tuesdays too. It's fantastic.
And then you get to see this giant tower tomorrow, and me rolling
gonna be
ones and
sweet.
whatnot.
Sometimes one of the
I gotta
people in the
find
group
that.
falls asleep, and then we just hang out on Discord all day.
I'm
And we
sorry,
don't
I did
stream
that
it.
once.
Oh,
I
no,
still
it's
haven't
fun.
done it. I think everyone's done it except me. So I'm
It was
owed,
that one.
I'm owed
It was that one time
sleeping.
Dave fell asleep or something, and then we're
Yeah,
like,
that
let's
was
just
really
hang out for
good.
2 hours.
Exactly.
I
it
know
was good.
3 of us.
It was
3
great.
of us has fallen asleep. That's fantastic.
Well, it's fun. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Brittany, for joining us for the PS5 talk. We will be back in a couple weeks with something. I don't know what. I'm sure there's something that's going to be interesting that comes out in 2 weeks. And we're going to have our live reading in...
Ghostbusters is coming out
Yeah,
within 2 weeks.
Ghostbusters. In 2 weeks. Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And then we have like our live read in December. But I'm pretty sure we're going to record that and just do it live and just put it out to the world because I don't want to have people recording over the holidays.
Let's do it live.
Right? Well, it'll be live. Air quotes. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for listening. We shall talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.